You found the coolest place to be, the PlayStation collecting nerds. Come on, won't you sing with me? Welcome to the show. Gather round the boys and girls, collectors from around the world. Let's show the people what they need to know. Welcome to the show. Gonna talk to Jeff when we got the best. Gonna put their knowledge to the test. Gonna laugh and deep, gonna listen creep, gonna show you things you've never seen. Gonna sing the song to the break of dawn. Gonna rock this party all night long. So come on everybody, let me see you dance. Get yourself ready for one more chance. You found the coolest place to be, the PlayStation collecting nerds. Come on, won't you sing with me? Welcome to the show. Gather round the boys and girls, collectors from around the world. Let's show the people what they need to know. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
Hey,
Welcome.
how's it going, guys? Welcome to the PlayStation Collectors Podcast. This is Season 3, Episode number 11. And tonight, we welcome back Reggie. What's up, Reggie?
We're going. Glad to be back.
Oh, it's good
Oh,
to see
yeah.
you.
I almost forgot to unmute us all at the beginning of the show, like a pro. But I did the last second. Oh yeah.
Well, we almost forgot to start the show. We were just sitting backstage talking by ourselves for the last half an hour.
Yeah, sorry guys. We had like a pre-show show that we forgot to show on the show. But now we got nothing to talk about.
This turns out it would be good content. We should just start.
I know.
Redo all those conversations we just had.
Sorry, I had to move my mic a little bit closer. Hopefully that's good.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah, I think that's like a curse of all podcasts. It's like most people always say the best conversations happen an hour before the podcast starts.
Yeah.
The podcast starts and they're like, oh yeah, we should have talked about that. It's all good.
But I feel like you kind of have to do that too, because you kind of have to get that chemistry. Like sometimes you're meeting people for the first time, speaking to them prior to the podcast. So, that initial like 1 minute of, hey, adjust the mic and everything, and then you start talking. It can take a while until the conversations start flowing.
No, I think we need a new policy. Everyone we mute everybody. Not a word until we start. And then go.
What's crazy though, man, is a lot of exciting stuff is going on in the gaming industry right now, man. I mean, I'm shocked about the whole Microsoft thing, but I'm not surprised because they're making a lot of money on Game Pass. So why make their games exclusive on on their systems only, and why not spread it out to Nintendo and Sony? So that's pretty insane news.
Yeah, I spoke about this last night. I was streaming and someone asked me, and it's kind of interesting because you think of it like is it a bad business decision? But if you look at it from a developer's point of view, if you're making a game, you're going to offer it to Xbox first because you know that you can also sell it to Sony and Nintendo and you can make more money. Even if Microsoft go, we'll take it as a 6-month exclusive and then you can release it on everything else. They're going to make more money that way than just selling it to Sony or Nintendo. So like this could be a step ahead for Microsoft in big games like, we'll send you a game then, or we'll make this for the Xbox One, and then you can port it to the Switch and port it to the PS5 later.
Yeah, I think it's a good thing to have choice for everybody. Like realistically, most households aren't going to buy both consoles. They're not going to buy a PlayStation and an Xbox. I mean, a lot of people do, but a lot of people won't. And it'd be nice for people on Xbox to play Final Fantasy 16, and it'd be nice to play on PlayStation to be able to buy Gears of War and enjoy those games because, it's better for the consumer. And I, like you said, as for the developer, why wouldn't you want more people playing your games, more people buying your games? So I understand why they do it, and I think it has been a very successful strategy for Sony, specifically, obviously, more so than Xbox. Like they do have exclusives, but I don't feel like they've ever sold me. But what I find the funniest about all of this is like the entire brouhaha that they've gone through in the last year to buy Microsoft, Activision Blizzard, and I was held up in court, and it was blocked in this and this fund. The acquisition took so long, and that was going to be this, and the Call of Duty's only going to be on Xbox, and it was this big thing. It was all this big deal about everything being, we can't do it because it's going to be a monopoly. And then after all that, they finally get it, and then they're like, actually, we're going to just start releasing our games on everything anyway. I was like, what? This confused me so much because I'm like, whatever. But that's good news because, I like Blizzard games and I like, Call of Duty, and it would suck if that was like an exclusive on Microsoft or Bethesda. Yeah. That was the one that really worried me. But at the same time, that might have got me to buy the Xbox. If the new Skyrim was like an exclusive on Xbox or PC, like I'd probably buy it on PC, to be fair, but I could see that actually selling consoles.
What's funny is that if the shoe were on the other foot, like if Sony was the one that bought those companies, they would have never sold, like, let their games be on a Microsoft system or our Switch system. Microsoft is probably one of the most generous companies out there when it comes to gaming. And this proves it. I feel like Nintendo or Sony would not have done that if they were in their position with those companies. So it kind of like goes back to what I said years ago about how people don't think I like Microsoft, man, but Microsoft is a good company. Mm-hmm. And by them doing this, it's going to be pretty amazing because Game Pass took off. I mean, you can't beat Game Pass. If you get a system like obviously Xbox, so you get Game Pass, or just anything if you play Game Pass, and you're introduced to that library of games they have, exclusives and stuff like that. Like when I first was introduced to Game Pass, Chainsaw Massacre just came out, and that was on there. I got to play that. That was amazing. Even though I was playing on keyboard, it was annoying, but I still having a good time. So that service, man, is just really mind blowing. And I mean, it just kind of shows you where that what that service could do for you, pretty much. I just don't think Sony or Nintendo would have done that if they were in a position. So Microsoft, good on them for making something like this happen. I kind of feel bad though that a lot of their loyal fans are like turning on them. Like, oh, you shouldn't make these games like to these other systems, whatever like that. The console wars are over. Like,
yeah, that's so silly.
Everybody could be that whole fanboy out there, but I feel like the hardcore fans today appreciate all systems.
Yes,
and that's just
100%.
How it is.
There you go.
Yeah, I think people who are really into gaming, like, they want more consoles. I want more, baby. I want another Dreamcast to come out. I want a new Sega console. I want Neo Geo to come back. I want freaking TurboGrafx fucking 74 to come out. I don't know, whatever. How many bits would it be at now? I have no idea. 74. Well, that is cool, the new handle. But yeah, I want more variety and more competition in the gaming space. It's always been the best. I still think that the best the gaming generation was when there was PS2, Dreamcast, GameCube, and Xbox, baby. That was sick.
Generation, yeah. The sixth generation was really good. No doubt about it, man.
Oh, and they were all freaking killer quality consoles, all competing, all doing their thing. And I think the Dreamcast got robbed. Dreamcast was amazing. I wish.
Like we were getting games. Look at what Rockstar were doing at that time, or look at what Konami were doing at that time. Like they were pumping out games 1, 2, 3, 4 in 4 years. Like
it's because there was no DLC, dude. They didn't work. They just made a game and made another game. I liked it so much better back then. Yeah, they would just buy.
Like, I remember what Red was talking about with Game Pass. Like just the other night, Joe messaged me and he's like, "Hey, we should play something on stream." And I didn't look at my collection to play something. I went and looked through what's on Game Pass because it makes more sense today. And that's crazy to me. I own all these 1,000 games and I'm not even looking at one of those to play. Because Game Pass is just more accessible and has newer things and things I want to play.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you just want to experience games and you're not into the physically collecting, you can't beat the value. I think like one brand new AAA game comes out, you play one game and you've made the month's value. Like if you play Persona 3, I think the new remake is on Game Pass. I think, you know what I mean. Like so you can play that right now. So it's like, all right, as opposed to me, I'm gonna have to fork out at least $50, $60 right now to play that, unless I wait. So yeah, I mean, I get it. It's definitely a good value, but it's also, I don't know. I'm a little sad because Xbox, like, at the same time, they were like, so I feel like they did a really like good effort, or like, I don't know what I'm trying to say. That what's the right word? They put a like an olive branch out to the community when they tried to do backwards compatibility with their newest system. And like, I thought that was really cool, man. Like, and I thought that was such a step above that what was Sony doing. And like, it's unfortunate that they kind of stepped back from that. And it's not even because I don't feel like they want to. It's just probably financially, they're like, it's just not working out. So,
Are you aware of what's going on with that, Joe?
What's that? What they're
So
like,
a lot of these games
unlisted?
that become backwards compatible are being removed from the service. Like
Yeah.
more and more are just being removed. So that list that was initially like 400 or 500 games backwards compatible isn't even close to that today. You know.
Which is weird to me that
the
they were
games are being removed from the list.
Yeah,
That's
their games
what
are
I
being
heard.
removed from the list. They're now not able to be played backwards compatible and things like that.
Like anymore?
Not all of them, but slowly. Like I follow these pages on Twitter, and occasionally they'll post this game can't be played backwards compatible after this date and things like that.
What? I didn't know that.
Yeah, I heard there were some games that were like we were like undoing it, which to me I don't understand why or how. But yeah, that's what
hopefully
I've
there's no
heard.
games I own. I gotta look into this now.
Yeah. It's
So-
like, what do you even own in the digital world today? It sucks, right?
Yeah, they have full control, man. You have no more access to this game anymore. I hate that, like them having control over what we could do. You know,
Well,
back in the sixth generation, even some of the seventh generation, that was unheard of. Now they have full control.
No, it's crazy. That just happened in the anime community at Crunchyroll
Yeah,
and
huge.
Funimation, I think it is. Somebody, I can't remember who owns who or what the hell like the details of it is, but basically it was another one of those situations where people had purchased anime, like, and you're supposed to own it and have access to it, and then like now the ownership's changed and the rights have changed, and they're like, yeah, we're not supporting that anymore. So if you purchased all of this stuff, you just, sorry, it's gone. I'm
You guys think
just
this will
like,
be a wake up call for a lot of
There's
these?
nothing we can do, guys. Sorry,
Yes.
to fans.
I do, Reggie. So not to so it depends. To the younger generation, no. The kids, no. But to our older generation, to people like us, yeah. Like I think people like who are older who understand, it's a wake up call. And I feel like I've seen more tweets about pirating stuff in the last 6 months. I feel like than I have in years. Like I feel like everybody's swashbuckling and swabbing the poop decks and up in the crow's nest, me mateys. They're all feeling the same way I am. They're like, what's the point of buying this if they're going to take it away? And what's the
Or they have access to take away, like
yeah. And why should I feel bad about downloading it and preserving it when I can expect, and like it's not only that too, it's like all the streaming services are and even YouTube, like all the ads are getting outrageous, man. There's so many ads now, like, and like Amazon just even made it like, even if you pay for Amazon Prime now, you have to pay more to get rid of ads, like, you know what I mean? It's like, what the hell?
Yeah, I told you guys a story what happened to me on Amazon. Like I was watching something and a $3 extra ad came on, like, hey, you want to buy this now? And I was like, no. And I went back to watching my show and I was trying to rewind between certain scenes. Guess what? There was a commercial waiting for me on both ends. I was like, oh my God, dude, like terrible.
Ridiculous.
Imagine if it starts linking to stuff you bought and you're like watching it with your family and it's like, hey, do you need to buy some more Preparation H? You were like, God damn it, I didn't want, why are you telling everybody I bought that, you sons of, what the fuck? Yes, I do need to up my monthly order, but come on.
It's just like you were saying earlier, man. It's just going to push piracy more, man. People are just going to say, you know what, man, I want to watch these shows in peace. They'll just download all that stuff and just start like watching on something like Plex or something like that,
That makes sense. Not just that. So I watch a lot of live sport, right? And I was at one stage paying to use the subscription, and then I was paying to get a sneaky one on the side. Well, today, if I want to watch live sport, I go on Twitter, type in the name of the team I want to watch, followed by stream, and there's 100 streams on Twitter, all live, showing the game of anything. You want to watch NBA, Madden, soccer, you just go on Twitter and type it in. Someone's playing it on Twitter. Wild.
Well, true.
There's 4 movies on there. Like, Elon Musk is just like, come on, guys, free speech.
Well, another thing too that I always say that dystopian future is coming, but I swear they're just going to start banning and editing stuff, and you're just not going to be allowed to see it. It's like a perfect example is like that show It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. There's several episodes that are banned now that you cannot see on any show, and you cannot see on.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah, they have like 5 or 6 episodes that are just banned. They won't show them on TV. They won't show them on streaming. Like you will not see those. Like the only way to see those now is if you have them downloaded through torrents, or I don't know, maybe they release them on DVD or Blu-ray or something. I'm not sure. Maybe they have them physically that way, but they won't stream them because they're too offensive, quote unquote, according to them. So stuff like that will happen more and more often in the future. Like I keep saying that, like they will, you know how like they've already like they put like disclaimers in front of stuff like this was made in the naughty time before people were perfect and didn't think like we thought all the time because we're creepy and we tell everyone what to think. Before all that shit happened, before the people who came in and like I don't know the I don't know what to call it. I call it like the Sesame Street generation. They treat everybody like they live in Sesame Street and they have to constantly tell us these little moral lessons in life. Like, no, that's just like, remember, be nice. Everybody be nice. Like, okay, yeah. All right, thanks. What the fuck, dude? like, thanks for the reminder. Like, what the hell? Like, these people, like, I don't know. I don't want to get into all that. But, yeah.
God.
I just
they said even an episode of SpongeBob was removed because it was offensive.
Yeah, sure, whatever, or something. Who knows? Maybe there is something that's offensive, and I don't give a fuck. Like, but my point is, like, it's better to have your own stuff backed up on and own it, so that nobody can mess with it because it's gonna get messed with.
Like you have control. Like you don't. Yeah, exactly. I think backing your stuff up is important. That's why we talk about the whole thing with preservation of stuff. You know what I mean? I mean, it's kind of like up to us to do that stuff. Us collecting games, movies we buy on DVD, Blu-ray, stuff like that. There's preservation, because as soon as these companies get full control over digital, which they pretty much have, I mean, they could remove all kind of stuff, add stuff in they want,
or add stuff.
It's insane what they could do. And,
look what they did to Star Wars. You can't get like the original cut. Like if you want to watch the old original unfucked with Star Wars on a Blu-ray, or you can't. Like it was released on VHS. Like that's the last place you can buy it.
Yeah,
there's a specific VHS set that's worth a ton of money because it's like not screwed with. So
really,
yeah, the original unedited theatrical release of Star Wars without like all like the Jabba the Hutt CG and all the fancy explosions, like the ones we saw when we were kids, the ones we saw in the theaters.
Yeah,
the regular films, yeah, those are like impossible to get because they've decided they're going to make them better. Which, sure, maybe they're better. Maybe in your opinion, that's better, but I don't know.
AJ was saying even the VHS version isn't the OG cut. That surprised me because I was thinking that's probably the first version I've seen. But I probably didn't.
Right. It's probably like it's probably like Laserdisc. You have to get it on. I don't fucking know.
Laserdisc.
You need to get it on the original big rolls of film.
Yeah, exactly. You actually just have to buy a time machine and watch it in the theaters back in the day. It's the only way.
So we talked about this before, but like we know like stores like Best Buy are going to stop doing like physical media for like movies, and we think games are next. But do you think that's a good thing for companies like Amazon to pick up the slack so they can make a lot more money like selling that stuff?
Well, you would assume companies like Amazon are going to pick up the slack, but yeah, like I mentioned a few months ago that I see GameStop like a middleman right now, and these companies realize that they can skip the middleman and just sell from their website, and that's happening a lot more. So companies like Amazon will definitely be like a publisher. Like I wouldn't be surprised if Amazon make games in 5 or 10 years and sell them on their website themselves.
Well, Netflix is starting that now too. They made their own game. Have you guys ever played that game called man, it just slipped my mind. It's called Jesus. Now I gotta look it up real fast, man. But Amazon
I've heard they were making games, but I don't know.
Well, the game is on Switch and PS4. It starts with an O. I'm looking it up right now. I totally forgot. But they actually made that game. And they made the sequel to it. And it is called Why do I always mess this up, man? I had this game in my head, and now it's like gone. Anyways, they made their own game, and the sequel's out, and they were talking about Amazon Gaming Studios. So I think it's going to be like a streaming service where you play games, kind of like what I think what Google Stadia was trying to be, but just through Amazon or whatever like that. So.
Wait, I thought Amazon didn't? They did make a game. They made like an MMORPG, didn't they? They made one. I'm pretty
this game
sure.
was more like
sure
a survival, like suspense game. I just can't remember what it's called.
I'm pretty sure they did make like an RPG. They made like a WoW competitor. I don't know. It looked pretty good.
I mean, I'm
too.
sure that Amazon
has
has
some stuff. Tell me about it. It's about these kids that go to this island. It's really weird, and it's like time. Well, oh man, I can't remember, dude. Jeez.
Yeah, New World was Amazon. Cyrus is right.
The New World, yeah. That's what it was called. I think that is it.
And that was interesting. That was like it peaked at like 2 million peak viewers after 24 hours, and no one talks about it anymore.
No, there's another one of those. Well, MMOs, it's all about the end game, and if you don't have an extremely strong end game, the game dies immediately. So like anybody can make a fun leveling experience, but unless you have it's the same thing that the problem with Diablo 4. It was fun until you get to the end. Everyone's like, well, now what? This is it. You have to have a very compelling, and if you want it to be like this live service game that people play on and on and on and on and on and on, you better have some serious content for people to experience. Like a smart
game is worth playing 6 months of content.
The game was called Oxenfree.
Oh, okay.
Limited Run did that physically.
Yeah, but there's the sequel, Oxenfree 2, I think is the one he's talking about.
Really? Okay. But
yeah, I know there is a sequel to that. Oxenfree 1 is a really good game. You guys ever played it?
Yeah, really I beat it, man. Got the best ending, thankfully, with the choices. But I didn't realize part 2 was out already. And I saw it. I was like, yep, they're selling it digital, obviously, but I'm not buying it until it becomes a physical.
Yeah, so that was back when I was not as focused with my collecting, and I was just like, I'll buy this on Switch, I'll buy this on PS4, whatever. I didn't really have a plan, and so I picked up Oxenfree because I picked it up on the Switch, and I have that version, and it's cool. I'm glad I have it, but I'm kicking myself. I wish I'd gotten the PS4 version so bad, and it's pretty expensive now.
The PS4 version was the first one to come out too.
Yeah, it's expensive. So that's probably why I got the Switch one. I probably missed the boat on that.
I need to look at the PS4 version. I haven't looked at it in a while, but
yeah. It's definitely over $100 less.
Have you picked up Castle Crashers for the Switch?
No, that's like $30 right now. I think
that's an expensive one now.
Oh, is it? Oh, goddamn!
I got the PAX exclusive version of it, so people were trying to buy that. I was like, "Dang, man, I'm keeping this." But
I just looked. I have Oxenfree on the PS4. It was like one of the first.
Okay, good. It's a good game.
Mm-hmm.
It's really interesting. I remember playing it on live streams years ago.
Hey, I want to go back to our topic question of the night. I had a follow-up question for you guys. So with Microsoft potentially releasing their games on other systems, can you see Sony or Nintendo going down this road? And just remember that Sony have been selling their games to Steam at a later release date, so they kind of do.
Nintendo, not so much, man, because I feel like Nintendo's probably one of the greediest ones out there. You would never see a well, I take that back, because Philips, they gave the Mario and Zelda license to Philips years ago. If you remember how those games turned out.
Yeah, that went great.
Remember Hotel Mario? He had a New York accent. And,
that game was all right.
Let's go.
It's probably the best game on the system. Is Hotel Mario.
I mean, for the right price, I don't know, man. I don't want to say no. Because obviously if there's money involved, they can make a lot of money. Why not? You know what I'm saying? They've done it before, but will they do it again? Who knows? You know what I'm saying? Sony doing it, I don't know about them either, man, because they're kind of weird when it comes to that kind of stuff. Sony is was the company holding up cross-platforming. Everybody wanted cross-platforming, was cool with it, but Sony didn't want to do it, and they held up a lot of games for a few years because of it. Eventually, they did it, but it was annoying. So you could tell they're the annoying ones to deal with when it comes to that type of stuff. So I don't know, man. I feel like Nintendo would be more open to it since they've done it before. Sony would probably will play hardball or not do it at all.
You just gave me a thought, Reggie, while you were talking about something. So I could see Nintendo selling characters to certain games, maybe limited time. So let's use Fortnite as an example. I could see like Mario's coming to Fortnite for June only. If you want to get Mario, you pay this at $10 and you get him to use him in June. And, you know, it's like a timed exclusive and then they take it back or put Pokemon in the game for a little bit or something like that. I could see that. But, yeah, like seeing Pokemon on the Xbox or PlayStation would, I don't know. I can't see a world where Nintendo go down that road.
Yeah, they would be probably limited with what characters they would put out there, you know, but still, I mean, I can see it as a time thing or whatever like that, because that would blow up the internet. Like Mario or some of those other characters on Halo or something like that, or something weird like that, some weird crossover. People love that type of stuff. Dude. You know, but the thing is, they would never let you have that kind of stuff on a disc. You know what I mean? Or physical, because you would have access to it forever. They want control over it, so always digital. When it comes to that stuff, you would never see like a crossover where Mario's actually on the game disc for Sony or Xbox or whatever. Dude, like that. You know,
I would love to get Super Mario Wonder on PS5 on a disc. That would be so cool, man. I'd be so down with that.
That's a fun game, from what I'm told, man. I need to try it out.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't played it, but it looks fun. Yeah,
right on.
I don't know. So it's always one of those things where, you know, the top dog benefits the least, so they're the most resistant to all this stuff. And Sony's like, you know, leading the pack, and they're like, why would we do this? We don't need to do this. It's the same thing with like, why don't they put their games on Game Pass, or why don't they put their games on their own service that they offer, PlayStation Plus? Like, why don't they do the same thing? It's like, why do they? They don't need to. People like, I don't know. Maybe Sony people were snobs, or maybe we're just like, we're all like the only people with money and we like to buy stuff nobody else does. I have no idea. You tell me. I don't know. I like, why do we tend to buy stuff when other people don't? I don't know. You tell me. It's interesting.
Well, if you're going to that attitude, then Nintendo only collectors would be the worst, right?
Maybe. Well, yes, but it's no. But I'll be honest. I avoid free to play games and stuff. Like I'm like, I find that the more you lower the gateway to entry, the more you deal with the shittiest fucking people when you're you know what I mean? Like if it's free to play, great. You have every fucking screaming 10-year-old and 12-year-old on earth playing that game because they got no money and they can't go get a job, but they can't buy games. So they play the free games. So if you play the free games, that's who you're going to be playing games with. If you play a game and it's like, it was online game and it costs like $200 to play that game, you'd be playing with nothing but like hardcore motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I'm. You know, dude. Whatever you say. What is Tekken 8 right now? You buy Tekken, you're paying $70, and then you pay the battle pass for like $100, and now you're playing on some. You know, you're in it for like $160. I bet that people playing Tekken 8, there's probably not a lot of like. Maybe there are a lot of kids, but I don't know. I feel like you'll have a better luck meeting people who are serious about that game.
Right.
That's a good point. You're spot on though.
I don't know. Yeah. I free to play stuff, and also I hate free to play games because they're not free to play. They're just, and they're not really games either. That's another thing. Like I am personally really tired. Yeah, it's not a game. What it is it's a giant money sucking machine. It's a giant freaking tick that they attach to your neck that sucks money out of you and tricks you into thinking you're playing a game. Is that what you want to do? No,
not just that. It's you've now given me your time, and I'm going to waste your time with ads and get you to buy something or get you to give me your data or something else because this isn't free. You're going to pay. If you're not going to pay in money, you're going to pay another way. You know.
Yeah, no, I don't know.
Exactly right, man. Those mobile games are really known for that. Obviously, like I remember there's a Prince of Persia mobile game that would come up with ads all the time while you're playing the game. It was like one of those cheap run games where you're like running and jumping over stuff, but you don't have control over the running. You just keep jumping over the platforms. Mm-hmm. And every time you almost do a couple platforms, an advertisement or something will pop up. It was insane. It was unbelievable. These companies think they could get away with it. You know, like that stuff, man. Like that's a big turnoff for gamers, man. Like microtransactions. It's like, man, I can understand a couple of them here and there, but like during the gameplay and stuff like that, that's just a turnoff. It's like, dude, forget it. I don't want to play this anymore. You know,
the model of a lot of those mobile games It has completely no skill involved whatsoever. It'll be wait 10 minutes or pay $1 to skip the 10-minute wait. And that's the entire function of the game, is just clicking something and waiting or paying money to skip it.
Yep.
And like the better things take longer time, so they cost more money. There's no skill involved whatsoever. It's your time, and if you want to get good, you pay money or you wait.
Yeah. So what it is it's not a game. What it is it's a psychological experiment where they exploit people's impatience and they exploit people who are compulsive. And those games are proven, like, they don't care about 85% of the people that play their game, because those people don't spend money. It's the 15% that are addicted and can't stop spending money that they care about. And like the whole game is catered to them. They call them the whales and stuff like that. And there are just some people that spend an insane amount of money on certain games. It's just absurd. Like, and like I said, I only had one experience with any mobile game, and it was like I played the South Park game, and like I got to like world top 50, and the way it works is like you have a chance to get legendary cards, and they're just unbelievably better than everything else. And once you get to top 50, all you play against is these people who have spent thousands of dollars, and they have nothing but the whole deck is legendaries, and they're all maxed out to the max. So that means they have like 4 or 5 copies of the legendary cards. And it's like, and I'm over here, I got like one legendary card that I got luckily once. Like, oh my God, I'm so lucky to have one. They have like a deck full of them, and you can't win, because the game is designed where like the HP of your characters is significantly less than theirs, and the damage, like the mathematically, you cannot win. Like, you will not out DPS them. You will not, and like, you cannot beat that team. And it's just like, okay, so basically you run into a paywall where you either have to start paying all this money or you're never going to win. And then what they would do is they would give exclusive cosmetic awards to the top 25 players. So those top 40, 50 people would constantly be spending money to try to compete for that 25 spot. And that's all they cared about. So that game, they didn't give a shit about the thousands of people playing. Only that top 50 were spending like, 50,000, 75 grand. It's like, so it's like, whatever. I don't know. It's like,
crazy is I played a different mobile game, 100% different concept, but exactly the same business format. It was, you have to finish top 10, top 25, and you got the good rewards for spending this. But to do that, you have to be in a team of 60 people who all spend on average like $100 a month or $200 a month. And if you're not doing that, you don't get to be in the team because you don't meet the requirements. And it's like, these are the people that are paying the salaries of the people that run the game. That's all they care about. And then they'll be like, you can get free gold by watching ads. And you'll sit there and watch 6 hours of ads to get like $5 worth of gold. When you work it out, like, go get a job.
Yeah. And you are being psychologically manipulated at that point. And like, I'm a little bitter about this topic in general, just because, like World of Warcraft, like I was addicted to that game for years. And like, I legitimately had like a problem. Like, I was like fucking up my life, that type of shit. And I'm mad still about that, because I didn't know like games could be designed like that. I didn't know, like, basically I felt like I was given heroin and no one told me what I was taking. Nobody told me what it was. Like, I just thought I was playing Mario, but it wasn't Mario. You know what I'm saying? Like, this, like World of Warcraft, it's called a Skinner box. Like, it's this literally actually like they use psychological studies to design that game to keep you constantly addicted to it and keep you on that treadmill of always wanting more and always that seeking that dopamine hit and getting your next fix of whatever it is. So that game was designed to keep you addicted. And so at what point is it no longer a game and it's actually like manipulative, coercive, abusive shit that they're being released? That I don't know. Like for most, it's just, I guess it's like alcohol. It's fine for most people, but some people just cannot handle it. And so not everybody should drink, and they should maybe have a warning saying like, hey, some people get really addicted to this. It's probably, I don't know how to handle it. I really don't know. But like, games can be bad for people, and they can be designed like that on purpose.
Yeah.
I want to add one thing as well, which might be quite surprising, is a lot of these big spenders, or whales as Joe called them in these games, they're like 40, 50, 60, even 70-year-old men and women. Like, you'd be surprised on who the top player is in this game. It could be this 70-year-old lady, and that's literally her life at that point. You know, that's the thing that she spends the most time on. And these people get way more addicted because this is their first experience to a video game. And they are experiencing video game addiction for the first time while spending money.
Mhm.
So their video game addiction comes with a credit card attached to them, and they've got money in the bank. So they spending $1,000 to someone who's retired mightn't be the biggest thing for them. So they keep doing that, but doing it for a year on end, it can lead to serious problems. And
That's the,
I know I used to play these games, and I used to speak to people who were addicted to spending thousands of dollars on these things, and they couldn't stop because that was all they had in their life at that point. And it's pretty sad, but
dude,
you
it's
know,
wicked sad.
the people they talk to are their best friends, and like,
OnlyFans preys on those same people, just so you know.
well, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep.
Like those girls who pretend to like these people, a lot of them are just lonely old men who with disposable income who just give them their money. And
Yeah,
some of them
everywhere.
are
Like, where are
married
the
men
simple
who are
from?
ruining their marriages and shit. Like it's like you say, it's not good.
Yeah. Craziness. But yeah, they exploit these people, man. They don't have nothing going on, and they get their money, and that's I think that's their pretty much their target. You know, it's sad and everything.
People these days just need to know that you know, everything's not what it's sold as. Like social media isn't designed for you to connect with people. Social media is designed so that they can connect with you.
Yeah,
They can advertise to you.
Your
They can
information.
gather your data and they can manipulate you. That's what it's for. That's why it's free. It wouldn't be free otherwise. If it was something that was like worth it for you, they'd make you pay for it. The reason it's free is because it's not. It's worth it to them. So like you should always be cautious about, and always remember, like what I always tell people is that don't think about just like what people are saying to you. Think about why they're saying it to you. Think about why they're telling you what they're telling you, not what they're telling you. Like, forget what they're telling you. Stop for a minute and think about why they're saying it. And then once you have that outlook on life, things change significantly about how you can be manipulated. You won't be. You'll start to question like people's intentions and motives, and you'll be a little more careful about lots of things, I guess.
Yeah, 100%.
We're just way off topic. What are we talking about?
Well, just
It's
like,
good, man.
if you're ever playing a video game and there's a leaderboard and you're actively like trying to creep up that leaderboard, and that game has any instance that to get a high spot on the leaderboard involves spending money, then you're playing the wrong game. You're in it for the wrong reasons and the wrong intentions. It should be 100% skill based. The only other aspect is luck. If luck's fine, because luck happens in video games, RNG happens in video games, but it should be skill based predominantly. And if it's not that, then the game's intentions is to make money off you.
Another thing too that we talked about this a while ago. The trophy and achievement system is another way for these companies to kind of scan how you play your games and what they could do. And a lot of people don't realize it. You know, I look at the trophy and the achievement system as kind of like a high score system, but at the same time, the outrageous conditions they ask you to do to get certain trophies or whatever to do,
like disrespectful.
How far people will go.
They're literally disrespectful. Some of them are like require hundreds of hours. I'm like, how dare you? Do this to people? And like again, that's exactly what I mean by like sometimes it can be designed to be bad for you. So
yeah, I remember a funny one was like you have to put a certain amount of hours into a game to get a trophy or whatever like that. And I remember I played, I'm not doing this, man. So we found an exploit where he would just put the game on like a infinite time mode or something like that.
Yeah,
and let the game play out, and then the trophy would just pop or whatever like that. So,
or you grab a rubber band and you tie it around one of the analog sticks, and you just
there you
leave
go.
it on.
Those little tricks and everything like that. But it's just, I don't know, man. It's just unhealthy for like a lot of those trophies and everything like that. Like I'll get a platinum here and there on a game that has a fair amount of trophies. Fair, I say fair. Not wanting you to do anything explicit or whatever like that. Like it play a certain amount of time or whatever like that. I hate that kind of stuff. But initially, what they're doing though, what I want to get back to, what they're doing is that they're seeing how far gamers would go and how they can control you when you play these games. How addicted are you? and they add that information up, man. And I mean,
Kill your
with crazy
family.
ideas.
What?
I have some
What?
serious ideas. What they could do.
Sorry.
No, you're good, man.
So
So-
I what with I like trophies and achievements, but again, same thing. I like I remember when I was addicted to World of Warcraft, like achievements weren't a thing for a long time, and they
Right.
came out like later on, and it got me bad because I had a lot like out of the gate because I'd already been playing for years, and so like I already had a lot, and I didn't really care. But then I was like, what? How much does everybody else have? And then it was like I was in like the top 5 in the guild, and I'm like, well, fuck that. I'm gonna be number 1, baby. If I'm in top 5, I'm going for it. So I remember that, and then it was like it got to a point where like there was like me and like these 2 people, and I could not keep up. They were just mad. I'm like, you guys are just forget it. I'm like, but some of the achievements in World of Warcraft, like you said, they were just absurd. Some of them, the things they were like, collect 50,000 of these, or kill 1,000,000 of these, or do 1,000. Like, no.
Yeah.
Screw this shit, man.
That stuff was unhealthy, man. I was like, man, get out of here with that crap, man.
Yeah. So now, like, what I do is like, I don't look at the achievement list or the platinum list before I play a game. I just play it. And I accidentally achieve, I call it. Those are my favorites. When I accidentally do something amazing, you're just playing and you do something cool. And it's like, but doop, you did the thing. You're like, oh, all right, good for me. I killed 7 dudes, 7 headshots with 1 bullet. Who knew? That was cool.
I'm not gonna lie, man. I like hearing that trophy or achievement sound effect.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
got my little trophy.
It's cool. But then what I do is I go at the end of the game, and if I really like the game, I see like again how close am I? You know what I mean? If I'm missing like 3, and I like the game, I'll probably go do those 3 and maybe go back and get them all. But if I look and I'm like I'm missing like half of them, and like you said, I look, some of them are just like absurdly obnoxious. Like I'm like, nah, dude. Or it just sound insane. Like, ones I'm over is the ones that are like, find all 197 hidden chipmunks. I'm like, no, because I'm gonna be stuck on 195, and I'm not gonna be able to find these 2 goddamn things, and I'm gonna lose my mind. Even with the guide, I won't be able to find them.
Like, which one did I not use the guide for and miss?
Exactly.
I was going to add one thing, Joe. So I do look at the trophy list prior to a game, but all I'm looking for is any missable trophies. Because if I get to that point at the end of the game, I don't want one trophy to be missable that I did a quest wrong. So if there's a missable trophy, I'll focus on those and ignore the trophies until I finish the game. And then if I want to do the trophies, I do them. If I don't, I move on to a new game. And it's rare that I play a game to focus on the trophies. And I wanted to bring up a game that I did get the platinum for, and it was PUBG. And it's a type of game that the trophy list isn't designed to be completed. The game developers designed that trophy list for... Yeah, Joe brought up a point before that MMOs need to have end game content. But when you're playing a game for like 1,000 hours, that's what that trophy list is for. It's for those players, so they got something else to do. Because I played that game for 5 years, and it took me a year and a half to get the platinum trophy, and I didn't go for it. It just accumulated over time, because it's like, win 100 of these games, do 200 of these things, do 300 of these, and it's all these things that you might do one a day, if that. Like, trophy hunters play these games and they have the worst experience. They absolutely hate them because the person who made the trophy list did not make it for someone to just play it and get the trophies. So, like that, there are certain games out there that they are made for trophy hunters, and Sony do it now with AAA games. Like, if you play a Sony AAA game, the trophy list is designed so you play the game throughout, you do all the side missions, you do all the final bosses, and you don't have to play through it twice or 3 times. Like, it's designed for that person to just play it, put in 150 hours and love it. Where if you go back to the PS3, most games you had to play them 5 times to get all the trophies. You had to do not just the entire game, you had to do some weird thing that wasn't involved in the game, or something that's going to take you hundreds of hours. Like, play through the game without dying. You don't see stuff like that anymore. I'm not saying that it's better now. I kind of like the old trophy systems where if someone showed you a trophy list, you had respect for them because they went above and beyond to go get those trophies. Where today it's like, oh, cool, you played 10 games and you finished them all.
Do you think like a lot of gamers? I mean, well, I shouldn't say a lot, but some gamers don't feel like they beat a game until they gotten all like most of the trophies and everything like that. Do you think a gamer should look at that like kind of game like that when they complete a game?
Yeah, and I say it all the time on Twitter. Like, this is all the games I've beaten. I beat a new game. Here's the platinum. It's like, well, and that's great for some people, but it's going to ruin your experience when you play games that aren't fun when you go through the trophies. And that's fact. And like, not every game is going to be fun if you just collect trophies, and that's true.
Yeah, it's just like back in the day, like someone going for the high score and everything like that. Like obviously, you're trying to get the high score, so you're not having fun. You're trying to win that high score or whatever like that, and it's probably frustrating and hard to do it, you know. But it's probably not the way that you would want to play the game. I mean, obviously, games are meant to be enjoyed, you know, not like in a competition. I mean, the competition level is the next step in games. For obviously, we see the tournaments like the Evo tournaments, the kids playing fighting games like that. I couldn't imagine doing that, man, because it would take all the fun out of it. You know, fighting games, like for me, I'm sorry not to go into. I didn't mean to jump topic like that, but just an example of fighting games. Now, I had fun playing fighting games as a kid, but when I got older and I saw like a competition online, how crazy people get just for losing or whatever like that, I'm like, dang, what's wrong with you guys? Like, you're supposed to be fun, but
it's true.
Exactly. Like, guys, competition, man. Like, it's like, oh no, I have to beat you. I can't lose at all. I can't get touched or whatever like that. You know, that's why I don't play. Well, I still play fighting games, but I do it mostly offline. I'm not like on a tournament level or anything like that. Of what I mean about like how people have turned like fun into like something really too competitive, I would say. Because obviously fighting games are meant to be competitive, but I feel like in a fun way. Like I just remember me and my friends playing back in the day. We were all having fun and laughing. Now I play with some friends, man. They lose their temper and stuff like that. It's like, what's wrong with you? This is a game, you know. So it's like it's crazy. So.
Oh, we had that back in the day too. I had some friends that like I couldn't play fighting games with.
Yeah, and then they get mad at you because they got no skills. I'm like, dude, what the heck? So you got to handicap yourself.
Yeah,
I can relate the same experience to G, I guess. So I got friends that blow up if they lose a game. Like, you know, it's just a game at the end of the day, and it's the same as if you're playing sport or if you're doing anything. Like, it's just how people react to, and everyone's different.
Yeah, I feel like games I mean, they're meant to be an enjoyable experience, man. It's just like watching a good movie or reading a good book or whatever like that. That's how the experience of games should be, you know. At least for me, that's how I feel about them. You know what I'm saying?
Well, if I ever lose, maybe I'll find out. But let's go, motherfucker! No, I'm just kidding.
I'm competing in a G, I guess, a tournament tomorrow morning, so it should be a bit of fun. I don't care if I lose. I'm just happy to be in it. That's my attitude going in.
Look, I'll play Street Fighter 6 online. Like sometimes I'll go online, you know, test my skills, see how I do, to have a good time. But I'm not expecting to beat everybody up. If I do beat people up, I'm feeling pretty good. But I expect to like learn stuff and see how people are fighting in that game. That's why I go on there at night. You know, you got the crazy competitors at night in the top servers, and you learn all kind of new moves these guys have picked up. But it's fun. Even if I lose, it's fun for me because I'm learning and I'm having a good time, like seeing what's being like used and everything like that. So that's how I look at a lot of those competition games now. But
now that is the best attitude to have. That's what I like to say to people. I either win or I learn. That's it. If you win or you learn, you don't lose, you learn. And in the way I do it is, if I lose a game of G, I guess I go into that game and I look at the round I lost and I ask myself, why did I lose this? And I research it, and you know, sometimes then the same thing pops up, and I've learned, and you know, you feel good from that learning experience. So it can definitely have that positive feedback loop when you're doing things like that.
That's why I think it's good for people to play games like Shmups or Dark Souls or something. Those games force you to practice and get better, because like you get over that real quick. Like you play Shmups and you're trying to go for the 1cc, like you're gonna lose hundreds of times. And hundreds of times. You're gonna make it to the last level and lose dozens of times. You're gonna make it to the last boss and lose dozens of times. You know, it's so like you pretty much got to get immune to that, like that gamer rage. Otherwise, you'll never progress, or But then it's all, you finally beat it, and that sense of accomplishment is just, it's like, I don't know, it's like quite the feeling. Like it's like I don't know. It's like you blew up the Death Star or something. You know what I mean? You were that guy who shot that. You did it. Like it was like the best feeling, and then that goes away, and then you play a new game and you go through the same thing. But that gets you, that makes you immune to losing if you play games like that. I feel like the people who get mad when they lose, they're way too used to playing easy games that don't offer any challenge, that aren't hard. They're just too used to that. Like obviously. Like I never get mad when I lose a game. I'm just happy people are playing games with me personally. I'm so happy if any of my friends come over and will sit down on the couch with me and play a game. I could give a shit if I win or lose. I'm just so excited that I'm actually doing that, because it's like nowadays that's a hard thing to get people to do. It's just hard to get people to come and hang out and play games, man. Like for me, in my age, not like the old days. I took that shit for granted. Back in the day, I always had people to play games with, whether it was my brother or my friends or whoever. And now it's just like, and I still have, people that come over, and I make my girlfriend play shit all the time. She doesn't want to play. We're playing Trash Sailors right now. I don't know if you've ever heard of that game.
Get her to play Until Dawn, the remake, when it comes out.
Oh, she'd be down with that. She loves those types of story games. I like those too. We play those together because those are actually really good to play with her, because they're interesting. They're like a good story too. And like, I like those when like we can decide what happens. Like I like asking her opinion, you know what I mean? And then like, she's like, and then if she's like, I'm like, what should I do? She's like, go left. And then they die. I'm like, what were you thinking? Like, I don't know. Why'd you make me think? I don't know. Like, that stuff's so fun, dude. Yeah, I like those games are like that's why I like the Dark Anthology games, that like the new where they let you, like, everybody gets to pick a character. So I used to do that with like my sister come over, my nieces, and we'd all pick a character and play and hand the controller back and forth. That was really fun.
Nice.
So yeah, I'm totally looking forward to the Until Dawn remake. Looks sick.
It's cool like that, because a non-gamer can play a video game, because the video game feels like you're watching a TV show or something.
Yeah, it's not designed. It's not like requires like a high skill level. It's like you said. It's just quick time events and choices.
And even games that have really good cutscenes do that. Like, I grew up with a mate who didn't play video games, and we lived together at college. And I was a gamer. I always had a system and was playing stuff. And he never used to like me playing games. He'd always like have one TV, so he'd always like, hurry up, I want to watch a movie. You've been playing for hours. Anyway, I'm playing this game one day called Mafia 2, and he's sitting down watching the cutscenes. Anyway, next day he's like, when are you gonna play more of that Mafia 2? That story was pretty good.
Yeah, exactly.
And then it turned into like 2 weeks of the whole game, every cutscene, sat there like glued to the story. Like, he's like, this is a video game, but like, he's a big Mafia person. Like, watched every Mafia movie that's ever. He's like, this is a really good story. Like, for a Mafia story, like, this is up there with like some of the movies I watch. Anyway, I caught up with him this year, and he's like, hey, you know how you had a PlayStation back in the day? He's like, I bought one this year. I bought a PS3. I'm like, oh, that's cool. And he's like, guess what game I bought? I bought Mafia 2. And he played through Mafia 2 with his wife and had that same experience that we had. So yeah, it was really cool.
That is cool. Yeah, dude, that's dope, man. I like that. I like games that like puzzle games too, like that type of thing too. Those are really awesome when you're like, because sometimes it is actually more fun to play puzzle games with more than one person. So if one of you is stumped, the other person will notice something that you don't, and it'll kind of move the thing along, and it's just a lot better, and it's exciting, and it also makes them feel like they're contributing. So like, if you're stuck in a room and you're like, God damn it, what do I do? And they're like, oh, did you see the thing under the thing? What's that? And you're like, oh, thanks. And you click on it, and, you help figure something out. So I like puzzle games for that reason as well.
Yeah, you're spot on. I got a mate that streams on Twitch, and he does this thing. He's been doing it every Friday, and it's literally just a jigsaw puzzle, and your viewers can play, and it's just like 1,000 pieces, and everyone plays on their own computer and makes this jigsaw puzzle together. And it's like, this is so much fun, but I would never sit down and make a jigsaw puzzle by myself on a Friday night. Like, I did when I was a kid, but it's just not something I do anymore. But doing it with people is so much fun. I got a mate that comes around all the time, and we play FIFA together. But we do a lot of like quizzes and stuff, and it's just fun doing it together. Like I play this one game called Huge Quiz, and it'll show you like the map of the world, and you can pick the size of your circle, and the circle could be like 200 kilometers diameter, and you got to name cities, and it'll like take a big circle out of all that from the city you name, and we try and like cover the world and different things like that. And, I never play this by myself. I only ever play it when my mate comes around because it's fun. He's back.
Yeah, that phone I was using was dying out, so I switched to the other one.
Nice.
I think the camera's better on this one, to be honest with you. So,
Yeah, way better.
looking good. Yeah, we're still talking about co-op games and stuff like that we like to play.
Well, would you guys like to play
Operation Raccoon City
yourselves? Because we've got a quiz tonight.
Oh, we do have a quiz tonight. Oh, okay.
Oh boy, I've played Operation Raccoon City, but not online with people.
Dude, I was playing it the other day because when we were talking about how PlayStation 3 is still online, and I went on there, dude, and I was like, man, this is so much fun, man. And then knowing it's free, like I don't have to pay no fee, it makes it even better. Like I love it.
The good old days.
Hopefully they keep PS3 online for a couple more years, man.
Yeah, and not just that. Like a lot of games are still available online. Like they haven't just cut down 90% of their games. Like most of them are still up, which is really cool. All right, guys. Today's quiz is completely different. New style of questions. Reggie, you're going to go first. I've nominated it. We've all picked out.
All right.
So, it is a music quiz, and you guys are going to have options. So, it's video games that had movie tie-ins.
Okay.
I'm going to play the soundtrack, and then prior to guessing the game, you can guess right away, or you can get a clue, and it's the same amount of points if you take the clue. And you get a pick of, you can have a clue of the video game or a clue of what movie it was.
Okay.
So, number one, Reggie, this one's for you.
So screwed. I'm so bad at this.
Now, would you like a
I'm
clue
gonna have
of
to pick a
the
clue.
video game or the movie?
Movie.
The film takes place in the year 2080 and depicts a dystopian world starring Sylvester Stallone.
Oh, that's easy. Demolition Man.
Incorrect.
What? Oh no, that means it was.
So, the way it's going to work.
Do I get to guess?
Joe will get to guess, and Joe gets the other clue as well.
Okay.
So the other clue for the video game is the game features run and gun gameplay with a variety of weapons. The player is given a choice to either execute criminals or arrest them.
Oh,
it's got to be
that's
Judge
easy.
Dredd. It's got to be Judge Dredd. I mean,
Yeah,
if it's not Demolition Man, it has to be Dredd
Judge
anyway.
Correct
Yeah.
answer is Judge Dredd.
Oh man.
I can tell it was a Nintendo game by the sound of it, but yeah.
No, that was kind of cool.
I still
All
haven't
right,
seen the new
question
Dredd
two.
movie. I
Darren,
heard it's
this
dope.
one's for you.
I'm just enjoying it. I have no idea.
Now, would you like a clue for the movie or the video game?
I'll pick the movie as well.
English language French science fiction action film, conceived and directed by Lou Benson.
So it's in English language, but it's a French sci-fi action film. What the fuck does that mean? What's a French sci-fi action? Oh, let's go get the robot croissants from outer space, y'all. I had no idea.
I actually had no idea, but it makes so much sense now.
I mean, it sounds dope. Dude. French.
If you pass, Reggie gets the other hint.
All right, I'll pass. I got no idea.
All right, Reggie, I am going to show you a screenshot from the game.
What?
Oh, that's easy.
Oh, now I know what it is.
Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead and say I have the element. It's the element of surprise, but I'm gonna say the fifth element.
Correct answer is.
Dang, that's like literally one of my favorite movies too.
And I didn't realize that it was French inspired, but if you think about like,
it's very the guy who the director is French, and that makes sense now.
All right, we'll move on to question.
Come on, my man. Scooper Green.
Like question 4 isn't there, so give me 1 second.
Dude, Chris Tucker is amazing in that movie.
Oh, I haven't seen it for years, but yeah, that was such a cool movie.
It's so good, dude. It's got a million quotes. I used to quote it all the time, dude. Like I still go multi-pass. Yeah, he knows it's a freaking multi-pass. Like I love that part.
All right, Reggie, this one's for you.
Okay. That's a good theme.
What system?
Would you like a clue for the movie or the video game?
Let's go with the game.
All right. So the clue for the video game is you get a screenshot from the game.
Oh no. But I know what it is though. I know what it is immediately. Oh, go ahead and say it. The Mask.
Correct answer is the Mask.
Yes.
Nice job.
Yeah, the big hit in the picture.
The film hit was pretty good too. It says stars Jim Carrey and Cameron Diaz. But yeah, that was cool. I didn't know there was a video game of The Mask. I only was familiar with the movie myself.
I wonder if it's expensive.
All right, question 4. Joe, this one's for you.
All right. Oh my god, this sounds like a familiar song, actually.
Super Nintendo game.
Would you like a hint from the film or the movie?
The film or the movie?
The movie or the video game?
I'll take the movie.
The film hint is Harry Tasker, a U.S. government agent who struggles to balance his double life.
True Lies.
With
True Lies. I know who Harry Tasker is. You know, that's all you have to say, friend. That's all you have to say.
True Lies is correct.
I love that movie.
I was going to show you the screenshot. Would you have got the video game from the hint?
No, I chose good. I chose wisely.
No.
Yeah, you did, dude. That's a tough one.
I know his name better than the screenshot.
All right, question 5. Reggie, this one's for you.
It plays in the morning after I take a dump in the bathroom.
Sounds like something out of like Three Musketeers, but let's go with the game.
All right, so the game, you get a screenshot.
Oh, this is easy. I got 2 choices, man, but I'm gonna go with oh my god, dude. I feel like it's Space Jam, but I'm gonna go with Looney Tunes basketball.
Looney Tunes basketball is incorrect.
Oh no!
You're on the right track. I mean, it's definitely Taz or some shit, but I don't know either,
Right,
man.
Joe, you get the film hint. The design of the stadium was heavily directed by that of the film's many characters, and it was a long process that it went through 94 revisions.
It's got to be Space Jam then. I
Of course, the answer is
Reggie had it. He just chose wrong.
Space
I was
Jam.
thinking the game was on Super Nintendo, and that's like Space Jam never came out on Super Nintendo.
Yeah, that's it.
I should have looked at the
I
M.
mean, it doesn't look like a
PS1.
PS1.
They showed the M. Yeah, and the tunes. Yeah, oh man,
All right, question
that's a good one.
6. Joe, this one's for you.
Jamming fucking tunes today. I love this, whatever this is. Like, I would legitimately listen to this, whatever this is. Sounds like something to be on a Sega CD game or something.
Would you like a game or a film hit, Joe?
I'll go with the game. Fuck it.
The game was made by Rockstar Games.
Oh,
Manhunt?
Manhunt is incorrect. So, Reggie, your film hint is
Oh, yeah, it's a
No.
movie. What's wrong with me? Oh, I know what it is. I'm an ass.
the 1979 film centers on a fictionist New York City gang street.
oh, easy.
It is easy. It's the only one they made that was about a fucking movie. I'm
Get the
retarded.
bottles together. Warriors,
Come out.
I can't do the voice with the Warriors.
Yeah.
And of course, it is the word.
That was a big deal when that game came out because they were talking about remaking the movie or making some kind of sequel to it. It never came
cool.
true, but it even made an arcade game for that game that's exclusive to Rockstar and some winners, I believe. But yeah, the Warriors, man.
That's a
Great
good
movie.
game.
No, it's cool stuff that Rockstar was
It's
doing.
even on the
back then.
PSP. They made a PSP version.
Yeah,
Hang
that's
on,
really good.
they didn't just do that. Oh no, they didn't do Scarface as well. So I thought they did Scarface for a second. I'm like, yeah, they did 2 movies.
Sierra did Scarface.
Like it was a sequel, you know, an unofficial sequel to the movie.
Yeah.
You got to play it yourself, which is cool.
The
All right,
Scarface.
we've got one more question. And moving into this question, I just want to reveal that the scores are leveled at 3 apiece. So, Reggie, you will be answering first with 1 clue. If you get it right, you win. If you get it wrong, Joe will have 2 clues for the win. So, here is the final question.
Don't leave me All right. I could jam to this. I could put some dope lyrics over this.
I gotta take that hint, man. These are tough.
Film of the game.
Let's go with the game.
This is a series of video games released for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, the Virtual Boy, the MS-DOS, Microsoft Windows, and Game Boy. Based on a film of the same game. Version
Easy.
released.
Waterworld.
Correct answer. And the winner of today's quiz is Reggie because Waterworld was right. Well
nice,
done.
brother. Congratulations, dude.
I knew I was Waterworld. Yeah. I used to own that game, but what kind of did it for me is that you said it was pretty much the only movie franchise that was on the Virtual Boy. It was the second to last game released for that system too.
I love that you got the answer because of the Virtual Boy.
Yeah.
That's an obscure way of knowing it. I love that.
Yeah, the Virtual Boy,
we
man. Yeah,
finish
that's the hell of a
with-
system.
We do have a chat question for chat as well. So, chat, here is your video game today. You guys have to name the video game from the photos.
That's an easy one.
Minutes to think about that one.
They had the name.
I just picked
Yeah.
up that classic the other day, by the way. I just wanted to show you. It's gotta have it, bro. Gotta have it.
Dude, the part where he
You
slaps
know.
that girl in the head, like, what are you doing? Like, that movie is so funny, man. It doesn't mean to me, but it's one of the most expensive movies ever made, too.
It was one of the biggest financial disasters ever. It cost like
So
$250 million, and it
the
made
movie
like
was
140.
at the time it was the most expensive movie ever made.
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of a cool concept. We have to do that again.
That was the clues helped a lot, dude. Thank God that I'm glad you guys added that, because if it's just the tunes, man, I'm lost. Yeah, but with Waterworld, it was funny because I remember when I was a kid, everybody said it was a bad movie, and I remember I liked it when I was a little kid. I'm like, this movie's good. I don't know why does everyone say it's so bad, and then I watched it when I was an adult, and I was like, all right, I get why people said it was bad. I still like it, but I understand now. I'm like, all right, maybe it isn't that great. Got some cheese on it, but I like it.
Yeah, it almost ruined Kevin Costner's career, from what they were saying back in the day.
Mm-hmm. Well, he had to like personally fund it.
Did he?
Like he had to finish paying for it. Yeah, like he had to finish paying for it. Like they ran out of money or something, and they had to reshoot a bunch of stuff at the end and stuff like that. No, Waterworld's good. It's it's solid. I mean, it's the most. It's probably the most unlikely premise I think I've ever heard in my life, that human beings could ever possibly survive under those circumstances. No way. Seriously. There's no way we would just all be floating around on a few dinghies and we'd still be alive. And there's like a couple, oil tankers that we're still making gas out of it. There's no way. Like, I just think the premise is just not.
It's like Rust when you raise the water level above the land and everyone's got to live on.
Yeah, we would just be dead. We would all just be dead. If there was no land, the human species would die. We're not amphibians. I don't know. We wouldn't work out. So
it'd be tough unless we evolved or something like that.
Yeah, boats can survive on water.
He grew the
for
gills.
so long, but when they need maintenance, they don't get that in the water. They get that on land. Sorry.
Yeah, it's all right. But like I said, it's a good movie. I think I like Kevin Costner. Let's make this a Kevin Costner podcast. You guys like The Postman? I like The Postman too.
The Postman was a good movie. I never finished it, man, but I got to a certain point. I was like, man, this is a good ass movie.
Well, that's the problem with it. It's 3 hours long.
Oh.
The Postman's 3 hours long, and it doesn't need to be 3 hours long. It should be 2 hours.
Yeah, it's longer than it should be, to be honest with you. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. Anyway,
I like him as a bad guy in movies. I think he plays a really good bad guy.
3,000 Miles to the Graceland was a good movie. Or was it 2,000 Miles to Graceland? That's the one where him and Kurt Russell dressed up as Elvis, and they robbed up that bank in Las Vegas. Or not a bank, but a casino. He played a good villain in that.
Radio was asking what version of Waterworld that was. It was the Super Nintendo version.
Yeah, you probably if you did the Virtual Boy version, I don't even think the Virtual Boy version has music.
I do love how the intro of the show now feels like a 90s movie.
What, to the podcast, this show?
Yeah.
I mean, it's all boomer jokes. Sorry, man. You've left it up to me. It's all like 90s references, Chris Farley jokes and shit, because that's what I think's funny. I don't know.
Hey, you guys, I wanted to ask you something. So, both of you guys like survival horror. I know, Joe, I know you like survival horror, but Fix, you like survival horror, right?
Some of it, yeah. I don't get into everything.
I went back.
Like some things.
Because I took out my PlayStation 1 system, which is hooked to the screen. And I was playing it a couple of days ago, man, and I put in Dino Crisis. And, dude, I had so much fun playing that game again because it's been a while since I played it, man. But that's one of the best survival horror games out there. And it was such a good experience. It made me think about doing a top 10 video of, like, the best, well, not survival horror games, but maybe like the top 10 best heroines in video games, like the female leads and stuff like that, like strong ones.
That'd be cool one.
I think I'll put it together, man, because after playing Dino Crisis, I love Regina, man. Like, she's like probably one of the best protagonists I've ever seen. And I'm thinking about putting her in that video. But yeah, I just wanted to see if you guys had played Dino Crisis before, man. It's an excellent game, dude. Excellent game.
It's a game that, what happened to it? Like, why don't we have a third Dino Crisis or a third?
Well, the story behind this, because Dino Crisis 1 sold well, and Dino Crisis 2 did good as well. But when they were making Dino Crisis 3, They were having a hard time working on the PS2 motion engine system. The PS2 system, well, all the PlayStation systems up to the PS4 were difficult to work on for developers until they got used to it. So Sony was really vague on helping these guys when they were trying to make games. So what ended up happening was they shifted Dino Crisis to be on the Xbox system, and it was going to be a true sequel to the PS1 version. But what happened was the 9/11 attacks happened, and Dino Crisis 3 was supposed to take place in like a city like New York, like dinosaurs just popping out of buildings and stuff like that. And they thought it was too. They thought it was too, they didn't want to do it because it kind of looked like they felt that it had. We were too close to what happened to 9/11, so they wanted to change the game, and it made it Dino Crisis Outer Space pretty much. They shouldn't have added the 3 to it. They should have just called it Dino Crisis Resurrection or something weird like that, like a side story game. Putting a 3 on it really hurt the series because that game had a lot of problems with it. Now, I'm not going to say it's a bad game, but to add a number to it and call it Dino Crisis was just not a good idea, and that's what kind of killed the series, unfortunately.
I honestly didn't even know that was a thing, so that's actually crazy to me. But what you mentioned is quite interesting, Reggie. There's quite a lot of media in video games, movies, and TV shows that around that time of late 2001, 2002 that were changed because of 9/11, and so many movies or TV shows just were set in New York. And
Metal Gear Solid 2 was another big one. Sons of Liberty.
Yeah, they had to change all the posters for Lord of the Rings 2 Towers. I think Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire had a similar problem.
Yep.
Where they had like the World Trade Center and the posters or some shit, and they had to change them or something like that. Like it was like a web between the 2 towers or something. They had to change all the promotional materials for it and stuff. So
there's definitely things that were cancelled too because they just went, that's just too on the other side. We don't want to have that right now. We want other things, and that's the way that they went for a couple of years. It's quite interesting looking back and seeing things that were released prior to that too, and how like risque things were, and because that was the time where like airports around the world changed, and
oh man, I remember the good old days. I got to fly before TSA was a thing. I'm that old.
That was great, man.
The good old days. You could just walk in and then be like, "Hey, how you doing?" And you just get on the plane. It was sweet. No one grabbed your balls. Yeah, none of that.
You take off your shoes like they did in the beginning of that crap.
The last time I flew, there was this TSA agent. He was like 3'2", and you could tell he was having a real good time telling me what to do because I'm 6'5". You could just tell he was like, "Go over here, do this, do that." Blah, blah. I was just like, I could just step on you, right? You know that, right? Like I don't have to do shit, right? But you could tell, like at these. Oh man,
who said that? Someone said that.
I'm not. I'm one of those. Get rid of TSA. Put an air marshal on the plane. Call it a day. Put an air marshal and a German Shepherd on the plane. Anyone fucks around, let the dog rip their face off. Then done. Like done. I don't need to have all this theater because it's all it is. By the way, it's theater. It's not keeping anyone safe. If somebody wants to get on that plane with something and hurt people, they're going to. And guess what? A lot of times they don't even need anything. If you're a big, strong dude, you can cause plenty of trouble with no weapons. You don't need them. Like that's another thing. Like. The logic goes out the window when you start to deal with people who can just break people's necks with their bare hands. So what are you how are you gonna stop them? You're not allowing them on the plane. You're gonna put them in straitjackets. What's next? Like you know what I'm saying?
Plenty of those people out there. What happens if 20 of them get on the same flight?
Exactly. All it takes is me and 4 of my friends to get on there. We could take over the plane with nothing. We could just get up and just threaten to snap people's necks. We don't need weapons.
This podcast. So
anyway.
We're gonna have a knock on the door.
I know.
Hello.
It's all. Well, the whole point is it's all.
You got 3 friends that are 6'4".
If you wanna, yeah, seriously. If you wanna like have a good time, go back and watch old TV shows and like check out the propaganda they were pushing at the times. It's so funny. Like me and my girlfriend just watched that show ER, and like the first 7 seasons, everyone has AIDS. Everyone has AIDS. The kids have AIDS. Everyone who comes in has AIDS. The old people have AIDS. The babies have AIDS. The dogs have AIDS. It was like that's all they talk. AIDS. That's what they were trying to scare everybody with. And then once you're done that, and you realize like I don't know how I made it through the 90s without getting AIDS, but somehow I did it, guys. I did it. I didn't get it. I don't know how. We were all going to get it. Supposedly, everyone was going to get it, but none of us did. But anyway, and then I remember watch the show 24. 24 will blow you. Like the propaganda on that show is just amazing, dude. It is so amazing. But it's also nice to go back to like the old days, and it was like everyone was like America, rah, 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 patriotism, like that was like what everybody. Now it's like people like American flags, burn it. It's the devil. It's like it's amazing to see how things have changed in my lifetime. Just watch the TV shows.
Yeah,
Watch any
check
show
out
from the
check out
90s
the
sitcom, and there's like a scene where
man.
they're all constantly smoking together, and then in a coffee house, and then all smoking together again, because that's what people just did back in the day.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, it was back in the day. People would like smoke in the hospitals in the waiting room. It's pretty well. I'm actually glad that's changed. I'm for that changed. If he was sitting in the Denny's chain smoking and stuff, freaking nasty.
Just having like cigarette stained roofs everywhere and carpet that's all cigarette stained, and
man. It makes you think about like how you see an item on eBay, say it comes from a smoke-free home. I understood, and I didn't understand what that meant at first until I got one of my items years ago. I was like, "Wow, dude, this thing is like all smoked up." Like I bought this Albert. I forgot what the game was called. It was called I forgot what it was called. But anyways, I got the Game Boy Advance version, Game Boy Color version of it, and that thing smelled like cigarettes, like so bad, dude. I had to wrap it up in a bunch of fabric softener, like those, and then for like a week, and let that suck up the smell of it. Man, it was pretty insane. But yeah,
not just that, they turn yellow. Like you can tell PS2 games that have been owned by smokers in the PAL region because they're all white, and then you get this like yellow game, and it's like, well, that was owned by a smoker.
Yeah, no
doubt. I remember I went to Europe, and they still have like smoking sections on the trains, and like it's like literally like a compartment, and like all the windows are shut, all the doors are shut, and everyone's just in there chain smoking. Like you are like caked in smoke. And I remember I got yelled at because I literally broke the window and opened the window. I was like, I can't fucking breathe. And I broke the lock off the window and opened the window. And people were like, what are you doing, stupid American? I'm like, I don't give a fuck. I don't speak your language. Leave me alone. Like, I didn't give a shit. Like, I was that tourist. I didn't give a crap. Dude, I did a bunch of funny stuff. We did too. Like, we were over there.
6'4", leave me alone.
I had this like prepaid pass for trains. Like you pay for like a ticket and you get to ride like 10 train rides and they punch your thing or whatever. And we used to get on like buses and stuff, and just like I would be like, watch this, and I would just take the ticket and I'd push it at people, and they'd be like, no, you have to pay, and I'd be like, ticket, and they'd be like, just sit down. I'd be like, thank you. Like just like they wouldn't want to deal with it. I would just pretend like I didn't know what was going on. I'd be like, ticket. They're like, that's for the train. I'd be like, ticket, and they'd be like, just sit down, dude. I'm like, thanks. We did it. I did it like so many times. It was fun. Yeah.
Just pretending that you don't speak English, let alone like any language.
Yeah,
well, they were whatever, French, German, whatever the hell they were speaking. I would just be like, ticket. That's all I would say, ticket, and they'd be like, all right, yep.
I remember trying
I wasn't falling for any of those tourist
Spanish team and Jehovah's Witnesses would come to the door, and then next thing you know, they're speaking Spanish too. I'm like, dang, man, what the heck?
Yeah, man.
Oh yeah, that game I was talking about was called Azure Dreams for the Game Boy.
Oh yeah, okay. They made the sequel to that as well.
Oh, is there a sequel for it?
Yeah, I'm sure I got Azure Dreams too.
I thought that was on PS1.
Yeah, it came out on PS1, and they made a Game Boy Color version.
No shit.
Yeah, I remember buying that game, and I was so disgusted, man. I was like, oh, this game smells horrible. Because I was getting it for a good deal. I was getting it for a good deal, and I thought, like, oh, man, this is great. But now I understood why the smoke was a thing. I was like, oh, dude, like, most people would, like, not even buy this, how bad it smelled. But I fixed it, thankfully. And I still think it was somewhat worth it. But, man, I just remember how nasty it smelled. Like, ugh. I couldn't even enjoy getting the game at first because it smelled so bad.
That happened to me once. I bought a Nintendo Mini off of eBay or Mercari. I can't remember. I bought like a used, those mini consoles they came out with. That one was like expensive for a while, and it was like a good deal. It was like $60 for everything. So I was like, all right. And the girl, she shipped it to me, and like, dude, it was like, it just stank like cigarettes, and like the controllers were like yellow, and I was just like, what the fuck? And I cleaned this thing like for days. I just would clean it, wipe it down, let it dry, clean it, wipe it down, let it dry until it finally like looked new again. But yeah, it was disgusting, dude. But I would just rub it with alcohol, use some Goo Gone, rub it with alcohol, clean it with a toothbrush. Yeah, looks great now.
Yeah, Fix,
I
you were
was
thinking about
thinking
Azure
of that.
Dreams Part 2.
That makes sense.
That's the one, Fix, that you were thinking of.
Well,
So,
guys, have you
speaking
guys
of-
got any pickups to show off tonight?
No, not Azure Dreams. I mean Knights of Azure Part 2. I'm sorry. I'm repeating the same game.
Yeah, exactly.
I do have pickups.
I have a couple as well, man. Who wants to go first?
I haven't got any pickups, but I got some more PS1 games to show off. So if you guys
Yeah,
want to see
let's
it.
do that. Heck yeah, Fixie.
Let's do it.
So we're going in alphabetical order, and the last game we've seen was Bratz, so it's going to be pretty hard to top that. But now we're moving on to the later B's and the C's. We're getting some pretty cool titles. So we got another JRPG here, Breath of Fire 4.
Good one.
Really awesome series. And just beautiful games on the PS1, old JRPGs. Look how much text is on the back of this cover, because it's like multi-language. Like, look at the size of that text. They're like, let's print it in size 2. That'll work.
God, that game has got that beautiful PS1 aesthetic, though. It is gorgeous.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful. Thick manuals too. Like, the manual itself has a spine. Absolutely
That's what I'm
beautiful.
talking about.
Is it in color? It's all in color too. Like, beautiful manuals.
That's
Amazing.
Relatively expensive game, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you what the price of the PAL version, but I'm sure it's like $100 plus. These next two games are a lot of fun, really cool games, and they're quite nostalgic for me. So we have Bugs Bunny and Taz Time Busters, and Bugs Bunny Lost in Time.
That's a good game, dude.
Just
Lost
a
in
lot of
Time?
fun playing these games. You can go back and play them today and still have a lot of fun. They're super simple, not overcomplicated. Kids can pick them up and play, but you can still, as an adult, get a lot out of them as well. So, really cool games.
Lost in Time is really fun. I've never played Time Busters, but
All right, so the next one we mentioned earlier in the show. Oh, no, we mentioned this before we went live. Sorry, guys. And that is Castlevania Sympathy of the Night. So I looked this up prior to the show, and like the cheapest copy available in Australia is $700 or $800 or something ridiculous. I was lucky to get my copy for, I believe it was $180 locally off a friend, so it was pretty cool. It's complete, in really good condition.
Would you trade it for the American version, Fixie?
Not a chance. No, this is being in the collection for the rest of its life. So
Right on.
really happy to own it. It was on my list of games I'd love to own for years, and yeah, I finally got it.
like the cover too.
Yeah, beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely more artistic than the American one. But the American one is like iconic. I love the American one too, don't get me wrong. It's got that creepy Dracula horror movie freaking vibe going on.
I like
That
the
one's
Black
my-
Label one. I don't like the green one.
I like the way the Black Label one looks too. But yeah, I don't know. That one reminds me, like I said, of like an old horror movie. And then this one is like more of like a gothic painting or something like that.
The final game I'm going to show is a bit of a genre that I really like a guilty pleasure genre, I would kind of say. It's not like a rude game or anything, but I really like snowboarding games. Like, I love snowboarding games. So here we have one on the PS1 called Chill. A lot of fun. You can play this 2-player split screen as well. Yeah, I just really like snowboarding games. There's heaps of them on the PS1, PS2. This one's a lot of fun. I think you can pick it up pretty cheap.
Okay, that's what I was about to ask you next. Because now I'm looking at it.
I'd have to look it up. It's one of those games that I just came across for like $10 on a lot one day and played it, and it was heaps of fun. So next week we're going to come into another snowboarding series that I love. I haven't got them today, but there's 4 of them, so that might give you a clue on what it is. All right, Reggie, you're up next.
All right, Fix, just to let you know, Chill is going for around $10, so it looks like I'm going to get me a copy of it.
Yeah. Not after you do a video on how cool it is, though.
Yeah, there you go. We're gonna do that first. Okay, so I don't have that much stuff this time, but hey, it's all good. I got Resident Evil 2 for the N64.
Nice.
Because I thought it'd be. I want to have all the Resident Evil games pretty much. So I had to get this one again. I had it before in box years ago, but I got it through a good deal through a friend. And this version of Resident Evil 2 is actually pretty good. Like really.
Yeah, graphics are clean on it. They're good.
Well, it's incredible what they were able to add to this cart. And then if you have the expansion pack, it's even better. It's very impressive. It's very impressive. So I'm happy what they did with this. I would have loved to see how Resident Evil 0 would have been on A64, but it would have been an expensive cart because all the stuff they wanted to add into that game. But still, Resident Evil 2 is definitely
that is impressive that they did that.
Probably the best version of Resident Evil formula out of the original games, I would say. I mean, that game really did a lot.
That game blew me away when I was a kid, dude. I was like, I remember that was one of the first games I bought the strategy guide for.
Yeah.
I
remember my first night playing it too with friends. I was like, dude, this game's like, I remember I was mad that night because when I got the game, my friends wanted to play Marvel superheroes instead. I was like, man, get this game out of here. I'm playing Resident Evil 2. We were like playing
seriously.
Hella slow and weird, but we still had fun. But next game here is a hidden gem, I would say. A lot of people don't know about it. Joe, hopefully you know about it. Dixie, hopefully you know about this one. I think the PAL version might be expensive if they have one. Or no, maybe that's a Japanese version. But anyways, Puzzle Star Sweep. Sealed.
No, I've never heard of this.
Oh, you guys love this
It's
game.
like one of those shooter games, though. Looks like that same company.
No, it's like Tetris, but it's a competitive Tetris. Like it's two people going against.
Okay.
It's like Puyo Pop. It's like the Puyo Pop games, how they have the verse. It's like that, but it's a really cool game.
There is no PAL version. That kind of sucks.
The Japanese version of this game goes for a lot, from what I've seen. I don't know if people are paying that price, but it's really called Star Sweep, but they call it Puzzle Star Sweep.
Okay, so we got Star Sweep on PS1. Yep.
Is it expensive?
No, I think I've got it too.
Good, perfect. You're good to go. Joe, I'm pretty sure you got it, right?
No, I never heard of that game.
Pick this one up, man. You'll be happy you got it, man. A little bit of the back here. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it's like you can see like the animated graphics, like the pixel graphics and everything. So pretty cool game, man. A lot of people don't know about it. It was Hpok brought out a couple like a lot of budget games toward the end of the PS1's life cycle. So this is one of them. Definitely a good one. I think people should get, and it's still not really a lot of people know about it. So there's that.
I love puzzle games like that.
Dude, this game is fun, man. You love it.
Did you see that Dodo Donut game or whatever the hell that's coming out?
Yeah, I saw them promote that on Twitter, man.
That looks fucking good, man. I'm like down, dude.
Next game here, Xbox One, Injustice 2, the complete version.
Nice.
So I had my coupon at GameStop, for $5 off, and I said, let me go ahead and use this because I'm not coming back again this month. So it's between Injustice 2 Legendary Edition or the regular edition. Obviously, we know the pay gap with the original version. Buy these characters, there'll be a bunch of locked characters on the disc. I don't want that, so I went with the Legendary Edition, which has everybody unlocked from the beginning. And I'm in good news. I'm getting an Xbox One here pretty soon. So
nice.
I'm very happy about that. My buddy had like 5 of them. He said, man, you want one, dude? I just got these systems sitting here. I was like, yeah, I'll take one. You kidding me? I got a bunch of Xbox One games, so I got this.
Those are backwards compatible with 360 games, right?
Some of them.
Ones.
And less and less, apparently.
Yeah, less and less later. Yeah, we're not gonna have. Oh god, that's messed up. I mean, if you already have the patch for the game downloaded, if you already had the game downloaded, you can still play that version of it still on the newer systems.
I'm not entirely sure how it works. I was just reading people that were angry about.
Yeah, knowing that, they'll probably take that away from you because now they're taking away. I hear they're taking away DLC that you have on your system now or whatever. It's pretty crazy.
I definitely heard that some backwards compatible games got delisted from the service, like they aren't compatible anymore. And I heard there were ones that were gonna be, but they never finished. They never released them. So
that sucks to hear, man. Next game here is a game I traded on accident, but I got it back finally, and that is Star Fox Adventures, which is also known as Dinosaur Planet back in the day. You guys remember that? Dinosaur Planet was supposed to come out in N64. They said this game's not going to make us any money unless we add some kind of IP to it. So they said, hey, let's add Star Fox to it. So Star Fox Adventures. I think Dino Planet got released too. Like somebody leaked it on the N64 so people could play the original version of this. But you play the game in the beginning of Star Fox games, like flying in the air wing, and at the end of the game, I believe you play in the air wing as well. But it's more of an adventure game. Really a lot of fun. It's pretty much a kind of a cool hidden gem. Well, I shouldn't say hidden gem, but it's some of Rare's best work, I would say. So definitely a cool game to have.
It's crazy because at the time they would have thought this game's crap.
Yeah.
Otherwise they would have just released it.
Did you ever watch Dinosaurs when you were a kid? Because I have that stupid song stuck in my head.
Dinosaurs.
Yeah, dinosaurs. No, I can't get it out of my head, dude. Damn it.
Oh man, dude, 80s cartoons were something else, man. You ever heard of Kit Video?
Kit Video?
Yeah, I posted the intro of it on my You'll recognize it if you see it.
Probably if I see it, I'll be like, "Oh, I watched this
recognize
show
it
a million
basically-
times." Yeah.
These kids get put into like a cartoon, and it's crazy. But anyways, next one here, I had the exclusive Blockbuster VHS case. This is one of the last items released by Blockbuster before they went out of business.
Oh,
And no, I'm just kidding. This is official, but it's basically a Switch carrying case.
That thing's cool.
So you put your Switch games in there. So
Mm-hmm.
kind of cool.
Hell yeah.
The one Blockbuster that's still around officially licensed this. So this is pretty cool. Got that. This is more of something I want to show off that I thought was kind of cool because I dug it out in one of my boxes recently. One of the most radical games you could ever play. Reggie's Radical Adventures for the Dreamcast.
There it is. Bang bang.
Dreamcast version, which is rare as hell. So yeah, man, had it ported to Dreamcast.
Got the seal of approval too.
Huh?
I hope so.
Seal of approval.
it's an unlicensed burned one. It's unapproved. He's like, "Fucking no, I reject that."
Dude, I was the first one to have a game like before anybody else did it, man. Like I was the first unofficial person to be in a video game.
That's rad, man. I think that's really cool, dude. Who made that game for you? If you don't mind me asking.
What's up?
Who made that game?
So the guy's name was Mike T. He lived in Korea and he helped do it. And then my buddy Eric Bishop helped design some of the art for it and everything. But yeah, this is back in like 2014 when I got this done. And we got it put on Nintendo, the Game Boy Advance even. It's on the Game Boy Advance. Cool, man. And of course the Dreamcast. Just got to make more quantities of it.
Dude. We gotta get
you never would have thought 10 years later that putting games on old systems would become the new thing, and suddenly everyone's doing it, and there's new Game Boy games coming out every week, and
that's cool, dude. I mean,
putting yourself in a game and then adding your own story to it is pretty cool, man. Because the funny story we put to this game, like the dialogue is hilarious, man. Like matter of fact, after we get done with the stream, I'll send you the trailer for the game so you guys can see what was added to my game because we have a trailer for it.
Nice.
It is, God, it's hilarious, dude. It's great stuff. Next game here is Rally Cross Part 2. Looks like a pretty cool, fun, like racing game, I would say.
Nice.
989 Studios were awesome in that.
Yeah, I love 989 Studios, man. I hate that they kind of I think they went to another company or they just fell off. But 989 Studios, Siphon Filter and all that stuff.
Hell yeah, they made a ton of
work, man. Jet Moto.
Mm-hmm. I think they did.
Hey, we have the same cover
right? Nice.
Oh, perfect. See, there you go. Okay. Man, Fixie got it ready to go. Right on, man. But yeah, I thought this looked like a cool game to play. So it's only $10. I said, let me try it out, man. I like finding PS1 games still, even though it's rare that I find ones I want. But if I see something unique, I said, yeah, let me get that for PS1.
Yeah, racing games. Racing games.
I'll take it.
Yeah, and that you can find fun ass racing games cheap still. Like I bought that game Scars recently for PS1 for like $10. It's a fun ass game, dude. I was like, this game's dope. So
These are bots said so. We'll see a HD remaster of Reggie's game for the PS5 soon.
HD remaster. But yeah, I would love to see that, man. Honestly. So I got two more here, or three-ish, I would say. But this was the one I was happy about seeing in box at that game store I told you I just went to. So I went to this game store and they had a box version of Battletoads for the Game Boy. And
beautiful.
Yeah, dude. What's cool about this is that the Battletoads arcade game has some cutout levels in it, unfortunately. And one was called Brain Chase. And Brain Chase was pretty much where the Battletoads are running from this big hunk of brain that's chasing them in a maze. Like kind of like it's kind of reminiscent to that level in original Battletoads when you're being chased by that ball and you're cutting the corners and stuff like that. Basically, you're being chased or whatever like that. Or no,
every game like that, every level like that is instant anxiety in my mind. Any game where there's something chasing you, there's a wall chasing you, there's something close,
or something weird like that, man. A better description would have been like you're being chased by this brain, but it's like there's a bomb or whatever like that. But anyways, I picked up this version of the game. I thought it was cool. It's actually a really fun version of Battletoads to play. It's actually better than the NES version, which I think NES version is all over the place with how difficult it is because it's like it doesn't know what type of game it wants to be. But this game does know its gaming identity, and it's a lot of fun. And people should pick this one up. It's got a great soundtrack. Rare did a good job on the Game Boy. They knew how to utilize the system. And they did it well. So I picked this one complete in box. I'm happy about the price, and definitely another game to add to the collection.
Dude. Boxed Game Boy stuff is so hard to find, but it looks so.
It is, man, and it's really weird because everybody's like the prices are all over the place, so you never know. You know, it's like you got to really do your research. And next game here is from Retrobit, and I love this series. They even have it on the Game Boy Advance, at least the third game. But this is an R-Type collection, which comes with a Super R-Type and R-Type 3.
Nice.
So you open this up. Wow, it's been a minute.
It's the SNES, right?
And there you go. You got both games on one cart.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, guys, I would say skip Super R-Type because it's a bit slow for me. But R-Type 3 is where it's at. That game was fun. And I still think it's the best R-Type out there. I mean, R-Type, the new R-Type they remade is kind of cool, but I don't know. R-Type 3, I just feel like it was the high point in the series, I would say. So definitely, I would say people will look for that one. And that's my game pickups, man. I didn't really have nothing much, but
nice stuff.
Tons of cool stuff, dude. Dude, I I meant to. Did you? Do you know? I saw that CAG got the Polymega, and he said that could play like any region PS1 game.
Yeah,
like those are region free. Do you know if that will play those like fan translation games, like the modded games? Will it? Oh, no, I have to get a Polymega.
It might not. It might not display the game. Well, it should because it goes by the game or whatever like that. So like there's a certain way it identifies what game it is. Mm-hmm. So yeah, you'll be good, man. Like this is the thing about the Polymega that was cool. You can actually play the Japanese version of the game.
That's what I'm.
I've been thing, and it'll play that game in English for you. That's what's amazing about the hybrid emulation, man. Like that game is, I mean, that system is pretty tight, man. So,
they to do that. So it's cool that they've made something to utilize modern technology. You know.
Yeah, you can also install the games to your instead of like if you don't want it to spin a disc, you can just install the game to the hard drive and play it like that too.
That's dope, dude. That's
what Jason did. He got a big hard drive for his, and he just started installing games. Like when I would bring games over to his house for pickups videos. He's oh man, this is great, man. Put that game in the system.
Burn that bad boy in there. Yeah, that's awesome, dude. Yeah, I'm kind of on the fence with I want one, but
because I don't want to play my expensive games. If that makes sense, I'd rather play an emulation version because I don't want to have a disc or anything. You know, not that it would, but I don't want to take the chance.
Yeah, I totally understand. Like I was actually tempted to play Tron Bond the other day. I was like, man, I don't want to mess. I don't want to keep touching this game, man. I just download the PS3 version and play that one.
Yeah, exactly. When the difference is like $1 to $300.
Yeah, it's like, hey, let's preserve this stuff.
It'd be like being a wine collector and drinking your expensive stuff, you know.
Yeah.
What do you got for us today, Joe?
I got some stuff. So first thing I picked up was I finally picked up Sonic Superstars.
That's right.
$20, right?
$20, baby. 1999. PS5 and this was 1999. The PS3 copy is still 30. Or PS4, excuse me. It's still 30, which pissed me off. So I didn't double dip yet. I'm waiting. I'm trying to be patient. I'm just like I'm holding out. I'm feeling like eventually they'll clear those out on clearance. Like I just feel like it. That's not like some low print game that only got like a small like I feel like there's probably lots of those available, and at some point it'll go on sale for cheaper than 30. So I think I'm gonna wait and try to get it for $20. Either way, I can play this for now because I do want to play it. Like it looked like a fun game. I want to try it out. So I'll pick that up for the Switch for now.
Sounds like the type of thing that'll hit the like $1 clearance because oh shit, look how many of these we got, and no one bought any of them.
Well, I don't. It's not that no one. It definitely didn't sell as well as they were hoping it would. And again, it was one of those games. I feel like the initial price point was a little too high for what it's offering.
$40 at most.
Yeah, it should be. Yeah, at the most, it really should be $29.99 out of the gate. If that had been $29.99 out of the gate, I would have bought it 2 copies like day one. Yep. But now they got me on the wait train, and now I'm like, well, I've already waited. I don't care. I can wait forever type thing. So they missed their FOMO gate thing. So I'm not sure. This one might be confusing. I don't know. Maybe there's an ESRB release or there's other versions of this game, but I picked up this version. I wanted to get this game for a while. This is the Holgar. Have you ever heard of this?
Yeah, that's cool art style.
I know the company. What kind of game is it?
So it is a 2D action game, kind of like Rastan. Now, if you are an old fart and you know what Rastan is, it's like a hack and slash sword and sorcery barbarian game where you're like a barbarian and you run around and you kill monsters and shit like that, like Conan type stuff.
Yeah,
and that's kind of what this is. It looks like a, literally like, I wouldn't even say an updated version. It looks like more like a love song to something like that. It's pixel art, the whole 9 yards. No. I mean, it's not super cheap. It's probably like $30-$40 to get a copy.
Okay.
And then it does have, I'm pretty sure there is like a nicer version of it. Like there might be like a deluxe edition or something like that. That's a little more. Looks pretty good. There's another game very similar to this that's coming out. I can't remember. It's called like Atrafar or something. There's another one that looks very similar, but yeah, I wanted this for a while. And Tessura Games, this company, I don't know. They just put a lot of hidden gem games, I guess is the term I would use. Like this company makes a lot of, they make a lot of those like unknown titles that I feel like will be desirable in the future. I don't know if that one will be. I don't know how many old farts like me were like, I love Rastan, I gotta have it, but maybe. I don't know. So this game is pretty damn cool. I picked up World of Horror.
Ooh. Yeah, I like the artwork.
That's what this game is all about. So it's kind of like a point and click adventure mystery type horror game, but it's all in black and white and it's all hand drawn art, if you can see. So it's like super creepy and it's like, I don't know, like I don't know. When I was a kid, I used to draw horror shit all over my notebooks in high school. Like I was that kid who had skulls and blood and monsters and knives and swords. And I was into death metal and Cannibal Corpse and all that shit. I just like hard monsters and evil looking shit. So like I've always loved hand drawn horror artwork and like messed up stuff. Like, so this is like, I had to get this. Like, perfect example. Did you guys ever watch the show Super Jail? You ever watch Super Jail? Do you know what that is?
What's that about?
Oh my God, dude, Reggie, you got to watch this show, or Figsy, you got to check it out. It's like this crazy cartoon that is, I don't even want to describe it. It's so bizarre. It's about like a jail and like, it's like if Willy Wonka ran the jail. It's completely insane. But the whole point of it is like at the end of every episode, they have like this giant fight scene where like everybody just kills each other in the most brutal, messed up ways you could imagine. And it's just like all hand drawn and like there's just a million things going on the screen at once. It is amazing. So I cannot recommend highly enough, the show Super Jail. So check that out.
What streaming service is it on?
I have no idea, dude. It used to be on Comedy Central, like 2 a.m. type shit. It was like one of those shows. Cartoon Network.
On the streaming service uTorrent.
Yeah, there you go. It's you will not regret it. Let me put it this: it's one of those things where once you see the show, you'll be like, oh my God, wow, like it sticks with you. Let's put it that there are certain things that happen that you just go, oh my God, that was amazing. Like, I don't know how to describe it. Like the coordination of what they do and the creativity is off the chain. Like it is just, I can't, anyway, that's what this reminds me of. It looks like that hand-drawn, like love letter to horror. Like it reminds me of like my notebooks in high school. So this next one I picked up, I think you might have this, Reggie. Senses.
Yeah, Midnight? I got the first game.
You get the first one. Okay, yeah, this is the sequel. So I don't think the first game has a PlayStation release. I think it's only on the Switch. Oh, it does have a PS4 release.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So is it sold out? Was it a limited edition?
Yeah.
Through PlayAsia? Okay, so it's probably expensive. So I might have to track that down.
Well, no, I actually have it here. I have a box of stuff I was selling, and that's one of the games in there. I mean,
oh no shit.
You want to do a trade or something?
Yeah, if you want. I got those Silva chains coming.
Wait, it's open though.
That's okay.
Okay,
that's all right. Yeah, no, I don't see. In a way, I care more about it being good condition than being sealed, because like if I get something sealed, I really don't want to open it. But if it's already open, then I'm actually pretty cool with that, because I get to play it. I feel no guilt.
So it's like brand new. Yeah.
As long as it's in really good condition, because I've seen games that are sealed that are shitty. You know what I mean? The boxes, the cardboard's bent. There's paint, artwork's damaged. You know what I mean? Like it's broken, or the disc loose is rattling. The inside is smashed. You know what I mean?
It's been squished, and it
you
pick it up and it's all flimmy.
It should be for sale in the condition it's in.
Yeah, it's deformed, or there's like the back's all messed up. So yeah, sealed doesn't necessarily mean whatever. As long as it's in good condition, I'm happy. Yeah, I kind of want that. Not gonna lie, that's nice. And I have like, I kind of have like a little play.
This is gonna sound weird, but you know what I need for my PlayAsia collection is they have to have the plastic, because I don't like them without the plastic. Even though they're not sealed, they're not actually sealed. That's just got the plastic. But because they all have it, I like it.
I messaged them once and asked them if I could buy some of them, and they never wrote back.
Joe gets it, guys.
Yeah, the little plastic baggies they come in. Yeah, I'm missing a few because I bought a couple used that didn't have them, and yeah, I wish I had them. They do make a difference. Anyway, this is so the one that you have, the first one. That one's more like a 2D side-scrolling things. This one, I think, is like a 3D.
That one's a 3D one. The one I have is like that game, Tacoma, the survival horror. It's exactly like that.
Yep. Yes, and like that Red Colony trilogy game, that type of thing. So yeah, this is just like a sequel to. I don't know if these games are that good, but I've heard they're decent, and they got like a cyberpunk horror theme going on.
Yeah, they're decent. I just was never gonna play this one.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll play these either, but I just want them for the old horror collection.
Good stuff.
Speaking of horror, I grabbed this one too. This is The Bridge Curse.
Nice.
Road to Salvation. This is another horror game, East Asia Soft. It did not get released in America. I think it's only in Japan, or this is an Asian release, actually. Yeah, this is a Chinese Asian release. It's got English and Chinese. But yeah, it's another one of those supernatural horror games where you have like a phone and you take pictures of crap. So it says, break the curse, can escape your college campus, witness the events of a well-known supernatural incident in first-person perspective. Navigate a Taiwanese college campus and interact with memorable cast of characters. So yeah, it's just another horror game.
Sounds like fun.
It looks dope. I haven't tried it out yet. At least literally just came in yesterday. So, and then I got this, which I had no idea that I was ordering this thing that's so big. That I'm like mildly obsessed with Binding of Isaac. I don't know if I mentioned that.
Really? Never heard you mention that before.
Yeah, so I own it like 35 times over on 50 different versions of it, but I didn't own this. So this is the PS4 version of the Binding of Isaac Repentance. So this only got released in Japan. Wow. So the Binding of Isaac Repentance, the only physical releases in the West were on PS5 and the Switch, and they're called the Leviathan edition, and they were through like this like Nicholas website or something like that, and they look like this. So this is the regular Leviathan edition or whatever. So this is what we got in the West. There was no PS4 version of this, only the Switch and the PS5 ever got made. And so I just kept waiting because I figured that either they would make this in PS4, or I thought that it would just get like a regular retail release at some point, not through like Nicholas's website, but it just never happened. So as far as I know, as of this moment, this is the only PS4 version of Repentance. So there is Afterbirth Plus, which is the old version of the game. You can get that version on the PS4 readily available, but this is the only one that's the Repentance one. And I had no idea this thing was so large. I thought I was just ordering a game. I didn't know I was getting this big ass box, but I guess it comes with like a little plushie inside of it with Guppy, which is the character, little Guppy the cat. So it has a little cat plushie doll. And then it has the game, which has a reversible cover, and then it has like a little manual in it, which is kind of cool. Looks like it has like a little comic book that shows like Isaac and his parents, but it's all in Japanese, so I have no idea what the hell they're saying or what it's about.
The game plays English, though, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it
Well,
plays
the question
English.
is now, Joe, are you going to open it, or have you got the dilemma where it's sealed and you're just going to leave it sealed?
Oh, it's staying sealed. Dude, I own this game 3 million different ways. There's no reason for me to open this. I'm playing it.
I wanted to ask about the Vita version. Is there any update on what's going on with that copy?
I mean, I would be beyond shocked at this point if it ever gets released, because that version was like Rebirth Plus, which is like the old version. Like Rebirth was like the first expansion, and then Afterbirth Plus, and then Repentance is the new one. So I just can't imagine them releasing the Rebirth version still at this point.
It'd be like Stardew Valley 1.1 getting a release today.
Yeah, it would be shocking to me if it did. You know, I'm hoping to God that it does exist and there's thousands of copies out there and somebody's just waiting for some reason to sell them, but I just don't know.
Well, we know for a fact that there's thousands of copies because Sony don't allow 10 copies to be made. They have to have 999 or 1,000.
So this game, I'm looking it up right now, man. It says $64. $65, like 2 day shipping from Amazon, exact version you have.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually thinking about it.
That's really nice.
The Repentance one?
Yeah.
I think PlayAsia is way cheaper.
How much is PlayAsia?
I think it was like 40. Could be wrong.
Really for that?
I think so. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did not pay. I don't think I paid anywhere close to 60. I'll tell you that. Let me look it up.
Well, if I buy from PlayAsia, though, you know how it is. You got to buy more than one item. So I got to look for some more items to buy to get that free shipping.
I do know.
But
they got free shipping for $100. They got the coupon codes. I love PlayAsia. They know what they're doing. They had that.
My next order, man.
That 3 games for $100 or whatever.
They're the one company that you start thinking about your new order when you receive your first order.
I ended up like making 2 orders because of that stupid 3 for $100 thing. The bastards got me for like $200. So yeah, they know what they're doing.
We got him, folks.
Let me see how much it was. $42.99. So, and then you can get 5% off with coupon code Joe's Balls. Everybody put it in there. No, I'm just kidding. I wish. I wish. And so the last 2 things I got, they're not games. So I just picked up a couple of movies. Dude, if that works, I better get a kickback. That's all I'm saying. So I picked
Joe's Balls.
Joe's Balls. I picked up They Live on 4K.
Man, that's one of the best fights ever.
Best fight scenes. One of the best fight scenes in all of cinema.
It's so back and forth, man, but it's like, man, it's insane.
It goes on for like 45 minutes, it feels like.
Yeah.
I just remember, so back in the day, me and my best friend at the time, what we used to do is like every Friday, we would go to the rental store and rent a movie, and we'd have like a competition of like who could find like the best and or cheesiest or worst or whatever. Just like we would have like a competition who could rent like the best movie or whatever. And I remember like one of the nights was They Live. And like we hands down, we chose this was the winner because it was so freaking amazing. And that fight scene, I just remember we were like dying laughing because we were like, after a while, we're like, these guys should be dead. They've been beating the shit out of each other for like 45 minutes. They both would be unconscious. They'd have every bone broken in their body. It's so amazing, dude. But yeah, when I was like a little kid, like I loved Rowdy Roddy Piper. I freaking loved him. Like I thought he was the best. Like I loved wrestling when I was like 4 years old. And he was one of my favorites. Like him and Ultimate Warrior were my 2 favorites. So loved that movie. And then this one, we've talked about this one on the podcast before, and I didn't own it, so I had to pick this up before I couldn't get it. So I picked up Monster Squad.
Monster Squad, wow.
This is my childhood, pretty much. This is like one of my favorite movies ever made. I can't even tell you how much this movie influenced me. Like, I loved horror movies growing up as a kid, and I think this is primarily the reason why. Because I loved the Goonies, and this was like the Goonies plus a bunch of cool ass monsters. It like has that young like coming of age type shit going on, but also it was just badass. And so like I don't know, like I just love this movie. I've seen it a million times, and I will say to this day that the end with Frankenstein and Phoebe is still one of the saddest goddamn things I've ever seen in my life, and I cry like a bitch when I watch this movie every time. I'm like, no, Frankenstein, no. I don't care, man. I'm just being honest with you. It gets me right in the feels every time. Like, Phoebe, no. You know, you guys know what I'm talking about. All right.
Ajay, you mentioned wrestling quickly. I don't know if you've seen what happened last night, but this is how Hollywood wrestling are right now in Saudi Arabia. So there was a soccer game in Saudi Arabia between two of the big teams. And prior to the game, they had The Undertaker come out with his entrance music and everything. Like, oh my God. This is Saudi Arabia doing its thing. Let's just get all these big celebrities at random sport events and have them. I love The Undertaker, but I couldn't help but laugh when I see it this morning.
Yeah, he's getting paid. Good for him.
Yeah, he's getting paid. He's making coin.
Yeah. Yes.
I like The Undertaker because, like, he was pretty much consistently always a badass. You know what I mean? Like, most of the time, wrestlers have, like, a phase in their career where you're like, oh, I hated this phase. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is when he looked like this or wore that stupid costume, or he was on this crappy tag team, or this is when he was the good guy, or I hated him as the bad guy, or there's always that part where you're like, ugh, not Undertaker. He was just freaking badass, man.
Yep.
Like, he was just the whole time.
Day 1 until day 30.
Yeah.
I mean,
and then
year 30, like, he was so consistent, too.
the only reason that he was like a good guy at all is because they made Kane even more evil. And they were like, you gotta fuck up Kane, bro. Like, so I know. I always dug that. I'm not, I'm way out of wrestling these days. I have no idea what's going on, but I used to love
now.
it in the day.
Especially with the McMahon's gone now.
Yeah, well, they actually just had fans like change the decision of what they were going to do for WrestleMania. They were going to do The Rock headlining with Roman Reigns, and fans for like the last 2 weeks have been screaming that they want Cody Rhodes. So Triple H just announced that Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns will be the main
Wait,
event.
Triple H is still a part of it then, right?
Yeah, he's the new CEO of the company, and like,
Okay, good. It's still basically in the family then, I guess.
oh yeah, it's still in the family.
Because Vince can't have his name on it.
Yeah, Vince is still running it from behind the scenes. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of what I was talking about, do you remember what Triple H's when he first came out, when he was Hunter Helmsley, whatever, and he had like
Oh, I
roses?
used to love
and
him
he
like
was
that. Man. He used to do weird poses and everything like that.
yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. He's like, you remember when he was this? It was so weird, like compared to what he became.
Oh yeah,
that's just
they all
so funny,
start as
dude.
weird, different things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Triple
Mick
H,
Foley's
man,
the
was
best.
always.
Though.
I liked him, and I always liked it, even when he was doing the poses and all that weird gentleman shit.
Mhm.
But overall, man, he's been like pretty a solid wrestler, man, over the years, man. He's always been this.
I've always liked the cocky wrestlers. I like Mr. Perfect. I like Ted
Mr. Perfect
DiBiase.
is another one, man. He's
I
the one that had
fucking
that
love
standing
them,
drop
dude.
kick. I remember he used to spit out that gum and then like slap it and everything.
That's what I'm saying. I love that super arrogant ones. They were like my favorite, dude.
Rick
Razor
DeMarco
Ramon.
Martel.
Razor Ramon with that fucking
Royal Rumble
toothpick.
last weekend,
I
or
don't
the
know.
weekend before, and I honestly, I was pretty disappointed. It's just wrestling doesn't feel like it was wrestling.
It's because you need a demented pervert running that company. Damn it.
Not only that, you need the classic wrestlers, man, that were in there that were doing their thing. I mean, they don't really pump it up like they used to. Not to me, at least. Maybe that's just
And you only know like 5 of the names. It's hard to get into it as well, you know.
Well, do you remember, guys, when we had those little intros to the characters when they would talk crap to each other?
Mm-hmm.
They don't do that really anymore. Like when they had those little segments and everything like that, those were an important part. I remember when John Cena first came in, and he was a heel when he came. Like he was a heel after his baby face fell off, but he had beef with the Undertaker, and he made this rap in a graveyard talking crap about the Undertaker, and then he started like pissing on the Undertaker's coffin, and he made a rap about it. It was so freaking funny, dude. Like, I was like, dude, this is great. And it was corny, but it was great.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have that
You
kind of
need
stuff
that.
anymore.
You need that drama and that petty shit, man. That
Yeah.
stuff is important.
Where they like break into a house and you think it's the wrestler's house and they like kidnap the wrestler's wife and stuff.
Or the one time when the freaking, I mean, this is gross, but one time when I forgot the lady's name, old school wrestlers, old lady, she was fighting Mark Henry and she had a cramp in the ring, and then they got her to they brought out a stretcher for her and everything like that, and it turns out she was in labor, and when she had labor, what ended up coming out was a hand. It was so gross, but it was funny and part of the storyline. Like, dude, I remember like the guys that were there with her, like one of the MTs started throwing up. And it was so it was the funniest thing I ever seen.
I used to love Mark Henry. He was good fun.
Yeah, Mark Henry was great too, man. I just feel like they had a lot more greats back then. Maybe we're just going past it, Joe. But I don't feel like a lot of them are the same as they used to be. We've got Brock Lesnar.
Like
Brock Lesnar's the only one left, honestly.
The 2000s were good, but once it got into the 2010s, it just all went downhill.
Yeah, the Attitude Era was one of my favorites, man.
It was cool.
It also went PG too, so that's, when you're not doing an M show, you're doing it PG. You can't do a lot of things anymore, and that sort of pleasing it for kids is what they do.
Here's another thing. You guys remember this scene, the Dudley Boys, when they grabbed that lady, the old lady, and slammed her into the table? That was one of those epic scenes ever, man. And the way like the dude's face looked after he did it, man, he was like just like in the zone. Like he picked her up and slammed her off of the freaking like off of that height thing or whatever it's called, and like it was just insane, man. Like you just don't see stuff like that anymore. Crazy.
Yeah, old school ECW where like every single wrestler would finish covered in blood. Like
I feel like those
guys wouldn't survive long. Their careers wouldn't last that long, but still, what was left of their career, I mean, what they had in their career was great. Like it was legendary.
It all went downhill when they got rid of Doink the Clown. That's all I'm saying.
You say Doink the Clown?
He was my favorite. No, he was not my favorite, dude. Oh, we lost Reggie. Oh, apparently he was offended. He's like, what? Fuck Doink the Clown, you son of a bitch. Like, I'm out of here.
Reggie's gonna come through that door behind Joe with a steel chair.
Yeah.
And, that guest StreamYard, so it kicks you out after a while.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's called a Streamlabs guest on the app. So only temporarily you use it for a while. Can you guys still see me?
Yeah, yeah, we can see him.
It's funny, your face is like still loading and Joe is frozen.
No, you're good.
Well, guys, we might call that a night. It's been a lot of fun.
No, let's talk about wrestling for another hour or two. Come on, man. Let's talk about the Legion of Doom. No.
Demolition.
The Bush
Oriental Express. Who else?
Yeah. Speaking of wrestling, we're gonna have TJ on soon, so we will have to get him on before WrestleMania and have a wrestling show. So that'll be a lot of fun.
We should have like a wrestling special. We just talk about wrestling games. We should play wrestling games. We should have a fucking online Royal Rumble. That would be dope, dude.
Seeing all the viewers, yeah, that'd be cool.
That would be dope, man. We should really do that, dude. Like, I could stream that on my. I don't know how we play online together. I'm sure there's a game that we can play online. I'll look on Steam. We can figure it out. That would be sick.
Well, I'm keen to try Power World. Is it Power Worlds?
Yeah, that's. We're probably gonna play that. So we might. Me and Figsy may play Power World streaming together and start like an online game together because that's a good co-op game too. I don't know if you're down, Reggie. I'm sure you are. I don't know if you play shit like that, but
I mean, I don't really have Steam on my computer. I mean, if it was on console, I probably would do it. But
I think it's on Game Pass.
It's on Game Pass. Yeah. Well, there you go.
I think so.
But is it on Game Pass PC? Is that why it's on Game Pass, not Xbox?
I do. I have to look into it.
I don't think it's on console just yet.
I know it's not on PlayStation. I know that for a fact. But I think it is on Game Pass, but I could be wrong.
This Sunday, guys, we have Ballistin coming back on the show. So that should be a lot of fun. If you guys haven't met Ballistin, I believe he's got 14 complete systems, and he's currently working on the the NES. He's finished the N64, so it should be a lot of fun to hear what Ballistin is up to.
Yeah, he's working on PAL NES, I believe.
Dang,
Yeah.
he's going all
See how
out.
far he's gotten through since the last time. His collection is absolutely insane. He's got systems that I didn't even know existed, and he's got full sets of them.
Wow.
Cool. Sweet. But does he have... Just kidding. I got nothing to show.
So you look around, yeah, he probably does have that.
Yeah, he probably does. Cool. Well, that was a good show, my boys. Thanks for
Yeah,
joining
thanks
everybody.
as always, Reggie, for coming on. Everyone for watching. And
Of
we'll
course.
see you guys in the next one. Peace.
You found the